The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is, oh my God, there's earth-shattering breaking news. Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. This show begins now. Yeah! Can't thank you enough for tuning in here at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Today is a large day. Today is a day that the entire sports world had looked forward to for months and months, damn near even maybe a year. Last year, when Aaron Rodgers went into his offseason, he wasn't 100% sure if he was going to return to the Green Bay Packers, and the Green Bay Packers knew that. There were some conversations happening behind the scenes with nobody knowing about Aaron expecting some different things to happen with the Green Bay Packers and how he was being treated by a team in a program that he had been basically the face of for oh so long. And whenever he heard how other teams were potentially treating their superstar quarterbacks, whether it was just being heard or your opinions mattering and everything like that, he had the absolute right to say, hey, I would like to be a part of some of these conversations that happen. Now, nobody was supposed to know about this potential disagreement. The entire thing was just supposed to be behind closed doors, like gentlemen would do business for the past thousands years or so.
Oh, yeah.
Then there was an accumulation of information dropped by Adam Schefter on the day of the draft. That went out into the world. All of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers was not only a prima donna asshole, but he was potentially on the move. The Denver Broncos were going to make a strong play for him. And as he was jumping into waterfalls in Hawaii, completely removed from the world, there was an entire fire around Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, so much so that some of the Green Bay Packers fans turned on Aaron Rodgers. Even though Aaron Rodgers did not say a single thing, did not want the business out, people turned on him and said, this fucking asshole, you're lucky to be in the NFL. Inevitably, he returned to the Green Bay Packers. They had decisions and conversations were made, and everything seemed to be kumbaya. A decision was made to return with the idea that if he wanted to be traded this year, he would be allowed to do so. If the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers' relationship didn't showcase any change from years past this past season, he was able to move on and go elsewhere. He also sat at a podium for like 45 minutes and explained everything, and everybody was like, oh, that's actually probably the more mature way of doing things as opposed to airing out your laundry publicly, like Murphy was when he was sending emails. This past season, we were able to chat with Aaron Rodgers as he went back to back in NFL MVPs. And it felt like if you heard him listen and chat about the wants and hopes that he had for the Green Bay Packers relationship with himself, it seemed like there was change. Him and Gutekunst had a meeting day one, good handshake. And he actually compared that to whenever he shook Favre's hand years ago and welcomed Favre back into the Packers family. So all season, Randall Cobb comes back. There's other decisions going on. And it felt like Aaron was in a happy place. The season ends, obviously, very quickly and early, and too much of a letdown for everybody that was involved in that Packers season, including us. Yeah. The team should have won further. He looked back, he came on the conversation with us, and he said, you know, actually, all the things that I kind of wanted differently and changed, it seems like the Packers did work on that. I don't think we're perfect yet, but I do believe there has been real change, real action in making this place maybe a 2022 NFL program as opposed to a 1980 NFL program, which was kind of how the rules were behind the scenes at the Green Bay Packers. So then this offseason was going to be highly sought after because just a year ago, it almost seemed like it was a last dance. What the hell is Aaron Rodgers going to do? Then there was multiple reports that came out about what people thought he was going to do. Anonymous league sources were leaking information to everybody. All basically narrative building that Aaron Rodgers is an asshole. And although all he's ever asked with the Green Bay Packers was a little bit more say, I would like my opinion to be heard. I'm a Mount Rushmore quarterback. He didn't say that. We all know that to be the case, as do you watching, whether you like him or not. I just think there's a little bit more, things that can get handled. So then the narrative this offseason became that Aaron's going to go somewhere else. Aaron's holding the Green Bay Packers hostage. Aaron is demanding and commanding to be the highest paid player in NFL history by a wide margin. That then led to another narrative of this guy's an asshole. This is a selfish prick. That turned some Packers fans against Aaron Rodgers. It also made other fans around the NFL who maybe didn't listen to him talk to us an hour every single week the last 2 fucking seasons. They all had those previous thoughts about him. This dude is a terrible human being. And then this morning, after 2 weeks of hearing from the internet that Aaron Rodgers was going to come on this show and make his decision, even though I had not heard from Aaron Rodgers, I had not chatted with Aaron Rodgers, he's having his off season. This morning, sources called me.
Okay.
Whoa.
For the first time and said, how you doing? And I said, we keeping him open? Or what's going on? I said to the source, sis, I said, you want to come on the show? He said, I don't think so. Still in the middle of working, getting the whole thing together. The source said, but I would like you to let the world know that after a lot of contemplation and after a lot of thought and meditation and a lot of sleeping on it and talking to a lot of people, I have decided that although retirement was, by the way, the sources did not say I, they said that
They.
yeah.
Right. You get it.
Yeah, so Aaron told me, all right? I'm not good at this. I'm not good at the inside news. I don't have the anonymous sources. Aaron said after a lot of contemplation of potential retirement, after a lot of contemplation of what the future looks like, this morning he felt he was ready to make the actual announcement, and he said, hey, why don't you let the people know that I am officially returning to the Green Bay Packers.
Wow.
So Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers are once again something that we can look forward to next NFL season. Obviously, you heard Ty Schmidt celebrate there. All Green Bay Packers fans celebrated, and the internet reacted obviously to the insider news tweets. But I wasn't the only person that was, breaking news in the Aaron Rodgers front. Sure. I wasn't the only person, allegedly, I guess, with source says. Ian Rappaport tweeted out 2 minutes, 3 minutes after I put out my tweet, by the way. Everybody else is crediting NFL Network and Ian Rappaport, even though I don't know how the insider game works. I mean, we're in it every single day. We try to give proper credit. I was 3 minutes before. I'm not an insider. This is how Rappaport makes a living, whatever the case. But still believe if we're doing a little journalistic integrity and no misinformation on a program, I don't know how the hell this has become the storyline of Aaron Rodgers going back to the Packers, because in my tweet, go back to my tweet, please, I put breaking. According to my sources, Aaron Rodgers will officially be returning to the Green Bay Packers. There is no deal in place currently, but there is said to be a cap-friendly deal on the way. Retirement was a real consideration, and in the end, he is back with the Pack. Not enough characters in the tweet to add, according to my sources, again at the end, because that is real insider stuff. So literally in there, from the information that I heard from my source, says there was no deal in place. A cap-friendly deal is something that they are both going to work towards. And when Ian Rappaport drops a tweet 3 minutes after I do, it says the Packers and MVP QB Aaron Rodgers have agreed to terms on a 4-year, $200 million deal. That makes him the highest paid player in NFL history, sources say. He gets a whopping $153 million guaranteed, and his cap number goes down. A monstrous commitment by Green Bay for years to come. So then that automatically becomes the headline. That becomes the source. This becomes everything, because this is Ian's game. This is his world. Categorically false.
Yep.
Wrong.
Wrong. That's it. Wrong. Was actually talked about in my conversation with the source. Says maybe that deal was presented, and maybe just like for the last 2 years, all the way back to the hippies singing Taylor Swift in Hawaii.
That's right.
And jumping off waterfalls. Maybe just like we tried to debunk just a couple weeks ago when it was being reported he was commanding and demanding. Maybe this isn't about being the highest paid player in the NFL. Maybe this is about Aaron just wanting to have a little bit more respect in the building and his ideas in the football world. And maybe it is a cap-friendly deal that will nowhere be $200 million because he wants maybe his friends back who are also up for deals. And the narrative now with the $200 million, $153 million guaranteed being the headline is, oh, Aaron wanted all the money, so he can't bring it. Nope, they're not going to be able to build a team around him.
They're going to have to cut guys
this
now.
Guy, his friends are, sorry about not going to be able to have this guy, not going to be able to have this guy, not going to be able to have this guy. Ultimately, in the end, the selfish Aaron Rodgers chooses all the money in the world instead of what he's been complaining about. False. Like, that is not true. And Ian Rappaport might have had sources that told him, hey, this was the contract that was being offered. But our source are saying, yeah, just because it was offered doesn't necessarily mean it's true. And everybody will say that, oh, he's a bad businessman then if he's doing that. He might be a bad businessman in this particular case, but I think he's done just fine elsewhere, and his happiness is all this guy cares about. His universe is all this dude cares about. He has an entire book club. Every book is about, like, enjoying the moment, being right here, your universe being all in sync and everything like that. And you might not agree with that way of thinking. You might not think that way, but all the narratives that are being pushed about this dude just feel like it's a bunch of bullshit from somebody that has been very lucky to have conversations with him publicly. He goes back to the Packers. The contract has not been done. Who knows what it's going to be, but it is definitely going to be a cap-friendly deal because he would like his people back to go on another run with the Green Bay Packers. So congrats to the Pack. Congrats to Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron. Love you, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, thank you for that, by the way, letting me be the source. That's very, very cool. I mean, I'm not getting credit. I'm not getting credit.
Of course not.
That's my stuff.
And there's no deal in place, but the deal is getting projected and other people are getting projected as the source. Jay Glazer said #Pat New. That's all that matters to me.
That is all that
bingo.
matters.
That is all that matters to me. That is very nice. Let's go over to @Ty Schmidt at the Toxic Table, sitting alongside @Boston Connor. Ty, Green Bay Packers shareholder, diehard fan. You actually told Aaron whenever he was going into his decision-making process, once he got out of PK, you actually said, Aaron, hey, man, if you don't come back, there's a chance I'm going to be, look for a building.
Yeah. Take a header off the roof.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah. No, but now it is official. He's going back to the Packers. It's going to be a cap-friendly deal so they can continue to make moves. Whether he went back to the Packers or not, the Packers are going to have to figure out their salary cap because I think they're still like $21 million over the cap, depending upon that situation. Ty, just your initial thoughts, pal, knowing that Aaron Rodgers is back with the Pack.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fucking ecstatic, obviously. And I don't care about the length. I mean, I think through this whole process, and especially last year where it was constant, I mean, there were some dark days there, constantly like you're enjoying what's going on during the season because they're playing so well, but then you also have that in the back of your mind the entire time, like, well, he hates the franchise, so he doesn't want to be there anymore. And obviously,
front office.
Yeah, exactly.
Loves
the franchise, hates the front office, hates some of the guys that he has to answer to, and they're not giving him his say, which he's obviously earned up to this point. But then as things start to get better, it's just like it was still tough because then you start hearing about retirement, and it's like, the more we talk to him and listen to him, it's like, okay, I don't know if I ever really bought into like hey, he's going to get traded, especially with how well things went this season, winning back-to-back MVPs. But, I mean, he's a different dude. What else does he have to prove in terms of you win 2 MVPs in a row. He seems mentally like he's in like the best spot he's ever been. He's really enjoying his life. He doesn't need football anymore. Like I really did think for a while there, like, hey, retirement is definitely a possibility. And nothing against Jordan Love, but then you watch that game against the Chiefs, it's like, oh shit! Like I'm staring down, where the Steelers are right now with, you got Mason Rudolph, and it's like, I just had Aaron Rodgers, I had Brett Favre before that, and we got this guy. Like I don't want to, but
we didn't trade up.
But I think I always thought he was coming back, but it did. I mean, and then you hear that the decision's going to get made, and.
Last week, his decision was supposed to get made, by the way,
exactly.
on this show, and then it didn't happen.
And it didn't happen.
Oh, the longer this goes, what does that mean?
Exactly. And then those reports come out that, like, hey, he's very torn, actually. And then so you start going back, like, okay, maybe he is going to retire. Obviously, there are definitely teams out there who probably want to acquire him, but I think deep down, like you said, like he talked to us all season about how much he loved his teammates, how much he loved the guys that are around him. Like, it was never about the money, and that's why, he's
going to get paid.
He's going to get paid no matter what.
Business is business.
He's back-to-back MVP. He deserves to get paid.
But that was the narrative that every insider had, and I think that's why they're running with it so hard right now. Because it's like, look what we reported earlier. We were the ones telling them. I was told that's categorically false. So then all of a sudden, maybe that's why we're not getting credit?
Well, because I assume just like if you can attach like 153 million, highest NFL player ever, like that, that headline.
Debunks the entire theory that he wanted to do this for more say in a better team and a better building.
Exactly, especially when some of your colleagues are saying, hey, I have sources too, and I've been talking to them, and that is absolutely like, hey, it becomes like almost like a dick measuring thing where it's like, well, I have sources, check what your guy's saying, because I'm good with mine. I know what mine is, and when that number got reported, it's like, okay, people are going to run with this or whatever. But honestly, I think most Packers fans too, like, you're not even worried about that right now. Like, he's back for next year. You take this 1 year at a time. He's won 2 MVPs in a row. They're in a great spot. Like, obviously things did not end the way we wanted them to last year. And I think that is also part of the anxiety going into the offseason. Like, if they would have had some storybook run where they win a Super Bowl, he retires or wants to go elsewhere, I think that would have been easier to swallow. But this was supposed to be the year, and then that happens in the playoffs. I'm ecstatic that he's back, and now we can actually finally like address next season and get excited about for the next season.
Our source told us that completely removed himself this year, actually, during the process of trying to figure out what he wanted to do. Wanted to really like get away and just figure out what he wanted to, like, what do I actually want? And I guess retirement became a real thought. And then he had heard, and because he does have an agent and he does have things like that, he had heard that there's potentially going to be other teams interested. I believe from my sources, not my source, from my sources, though, I believe those other teams were very interested. I believe there was more teams than just the final 3 teams that we heard about that were interested and in play and already like, hey, we are going to go.
Yeah.
Now, my source said that completely removed himself from this all and went into like a deep state of like meditation, trying to get like his feel on what his body wants to do. How much, does he want to continue to commit to football and to this, and feels like he can do a lot of other stuff in his life and wants to experience it all. Because once again, when you talk about money, a guy has made a lot of money, and his business decisions off the field also sound.
Right.
So, like, whenever that narrative continues to get built about it being about money, I think our source could potentially get pissed off. Like, you are not only lying to try to fill your narrative, but also you're going against everything that I stand for currently as a human.
Right.
Right? Like, right now, he's going to get paid. He's going to get paid.
That's the way it works.
That he's the back-to-back MVP, but very clearly our source said that it will be a very cap-friendly deal because friends bringing back, building what they wanted, and making that team, the best they could possibly be. Because I don't believe, winning a Super Bowl wasn't a thought. Another Super Bowl wasn't a thought as well. At Boston Connor, I guess there was a chance that the Packers couldn't be led by Aaron Rodgers in there. You have Mac Jones for the next 20 years, so you have no thoughts at all other than what about the NFL now that Aaron's back?
I think now, no matter what, Green Bay's got to be the favorite in the NFC. It's pretty awesome because now I don't have to watch Ty go through this every single day, because some days he'd come in here and I really would have to, it's going to be all right. Okay, yeah. Tom Brady left once before. I've been through this. No bull. Yeah. You'll get to the other side, brother. But even that didn't really help him, so I'm glad that, this is done for him. And with this deal, like, sure, you can bring back all, the other guys, Aaron's friends and stuff, but like,
not just friends, I think, like, make the team. Like,
who says they can't go into free agency now and get like another weapon or another guy on defense to help him out?
They're $21 million over. And his current cap hit, though, is like 40-something.
46.
So that puts them 25 under. Naturally, you get rid of that. He will be paid something. It'll probably be put. And by the way, I don't even know if the years of the deal have even been, like, Rappaport reported like 4-year deal. I saw somebody else go after I said this is false. That's all I tweeted, by the way. That's my new thing. Ben Kurt yesterday said that like 10 years from now, sports books and players are going to have deals. And I just wrote, you're wrong.
Nope.
I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it because neither side of there wants players involved with that entire thing. But then Rappaport's, this is false. That's going to be my new thing, I think. And it's all love, like with Kurt and with Rapp. It's all love. But it's like, hey, I just want you're wrong. This is false. Because I don't even, there was other people after I said this is false, said maybe it's a three, our sources have told us it's a 3-year deal or who knows? I don't even think that's been figured out yet. I don't even think that has been chatted about how it'll go about happening. From my source says no deal is in, like that is not even, maybe, and this is because Rapp does have good, right? Rapp has good sources.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe that deal was presented to Aaron. Or not even to Aaron yet. Maybe Aaron had heard about it, but Aaron allegedly told my source says that is not what this is about at all, and that is not true. So this is a big deal. I know the Pittsburgh Steelers were in the middle of it all, I guess, publicly. Yeah. I guess privately we'll have to find out. I don't know who will have those answers. Probably the people with the sources that are at the teams. Will probably have that information. But allegedly, the Steelers were in this thing the entire time. Now you guys got Mason Rudolph as a starter for officially. So your thoughts at Tone Diggs?
Super pumped. I don't know why the Steelers would give up 3 first-round picks for a 38-year-old quarterback.
Come on.
So I'm pretty happy that he's going back to the Packers. As the Steelers of the NFC, I am happy for the Packers fans. One of the few organizations left that are actually a real organization, stick to their roots and stuff like that. So I'm happy for the Packers. I'm happy for the Steelers, too, that we didn't have to mortgage our future and,
Oh, just real quick, though, I think that's a good comparison, by the way. The Packers and the Steelers, vice versa, being each other's sister teams in the AFC and NFC or whatever. But this is a very new Packers, right? Because the Packers stick to your roots, old school team, fan base is very loyal, diehard, they travel, that whole thing. They don't normally let players have any say in any conversation. Yeah. Aaron was pushing for that, right? He was pushing for that. I think this past year have changed. Listen to him, let that hang. Yeah. In the Steelers, old school organization, they were potentially going to have to trade. Sure. That's not something the Steelers would do at all. So I think you're seeing teams evolve into the modern world. Oh. Welcome to the modern world. Right? I think that is currently happening. And I can't wait to hear like the full. Who all was in, what all was actually being offered. I'm assuming we'll never know, but hopefully at some point somebody will let us know all the information.
I would love to know from your source.
Says
if they were actually in. I assume they were, and I actually
he doesn't. I honestly, I'm not 100% sure he.
Because his representation. Have they been leaking stuff? Who knows? But I am, to your point, happy because it does seem like. Even in this situation and in the free agent market and stuff like that, the Steelers are, like the Packers, potentially changing their ways to a more modern way of thinking, as well as sticking to what makes them them.
All right, let's get to a break. Okay, we'll be back on the other side with some reaction to all this. I can't wait to see what the world is saying. I see Rappaport has quote tweeted my thing. I guess he's questioning my journalistic integrity because I just said, so Aaron told me. All right, that's, which in the middle of that thing it did. I thought I was going to be able to maintain the sources thing.
Well, everybody knows.
I think it was assumed either way.
This is 2 times though. He's given me information and I've said, Aaron told me, my sources.
Sources say.
I'm not supposed to be in the insider game.
That could be strategic though. People don't know.
That's my style.
Yeah. Mislead you a little bit.
Oh, I'm not going to tell you who told me.
Yeah.
Classic.
You should have a little bit of question on whether or not you should believe what I'm saying or not.
That's right.
And then if you're even doubting, it's the, actually, bang. Yeah. How about that? Huh? Tank top stooge. Huh? Why die?
Hockey's such a prick. That's all I can think about.
Yeah, he knew for weeks?
Do you think he did?
Yeah.
I would guess so.
I don't think so. Bitch. My source have said to me, like it was a real
down to the wire here
process. I don't know about down to the wire. I think like there was no wire, right?
No, I just mean until up to, they were still negotiating up through this week and everything. It's not like this was a done deal.
I don't think they even have a deal in place. I think Aaron's decision making process was I don't think it's come until very recent here. Yeah. Maybe it was because how good AJ was at that wedding.
Oh.
Maybe it was because how good the wedding was. That kind of, he's like, you know what? Yeah, this is family. What am I even thinking? I can go back.
How happy LaFleur was there.
I can go back. Yeah, LaFleur was out there boozing.
Right, having a good time.
Dancing.
You think he looked into Bakhtiari's eyes while he was giving the sermon or whatever?
Look at me, Takatari.
All right, I can't leave.
Ocean
Did he say
breeze.
Mr. and Mrs. Takatari? Isn't that what AJ and all them called us?
Yeah, I believe so.
Definitely what AJ would have said.
What a day, man. We were in there.
Oh, yeah.
Selfish of these other networks, by the way. To say
That's misinformation on their program. They were attacking us for that.
Yeah.
What's that all about? Oh, because we were the one that countered their inside information a couple weeks ago. So then whenever our information doesn't match that information, but there's another one that does match the information they were told, they're going to go with that.
Yeah.
Ah, that's the game.
Still false.
That's the game. Yeah, wrong.
Still misinformation on your programs.
It's bullshit.
Can't be having that.
So we're thinking like $25 million a year.
They're frauds.
Sues, lawsuits, or what he's going to get paid?
What do you got?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't dive into that.
I was
should've
just thinking.
fucking
I was
wrote.
thinking because that's what Tom was a free agent, but that's what Tom got, and Tom wasn't off back-to-back MVPs, but
But help.
But also the entire narrative now is that he's a selfish prick on the
Correct.
money. So like
yeah, that's what I'm like.
should do like $1 million a year. Be electric.
Bro, that's what
That
I
would
said.
be electric.
I said that to I said it to AJ. AJ and I were talking because that whole narrative of him demanding and commanding the money was like so false from what I understood of the whole situation, and from my source, Sis.
And that was the biggest one outside of here, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was a massive narrative builder though for everybody about him being a fucking asshole.
Right.
Like all he wants
Very
to-
convenient if you don't know what's coming either, and you want to be able to talk about it for the next 3-4 weeks. Like that's just it was.
Oh, we can bury this guy.
Yeah,
Everybody already
package
thinks he's a
pre-made,
selfish prick, and we
Right.
can make this up for sure. And then that becomes an entire thing. So I talked to AJ. I was like, he should just take vet min. He just took vet min. He said, "Oh, so you think you should turn down like? What if he takes like 20 million? That would be a very minimum deal, right? 20. You think he should just say no to $20 million a year just to say fuck you to people? I'm like, well, that's a lot of money, I guess. That is a lot of money, but also, I mean, pretty
Pretty cool.
Could you imagine 4 years, $2 million? It'd be unbelievable.
I don't know the years. By the way, the years is an interesting thing as well.
Right.
Because they probably will have some sort of voided
On the
Yeah.
back, yeah.
Yeah.
so they can salary cap gymnastics. It's interesting. It's all very fascinating. Anyways, it's Cool Tuesday. March 8th. Congrats to the Packers to get your MVP back.
Hell yeah.
And congrats to all of us for getting a chance to watch that dude play football again.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I forget who commented. Somebody commented on my Instagram and was like, the game needs him. And that wasn't a fan or a media person. That was somebody in the league. They're like, hey, we fucking love watching this dude play football.
He's the last of that generation with Brady and Ben gone. Like, he really is kind of the last one.
And you don't hear, by the way, any player not say like, Aaron Rodgers is a fucking savage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how everybody talks that is at an elite level, athletically, competitively. They're like, this guy's the guy. I think that is across all sports, by the way. I forget who we had on. I think we had a basketball player on or something like Aaron Rodgers is a bad dude. And it's like, oh, okay, so he's like I think all competitors enjoy him.
Oh yeah.
I'm happy we're getting a chance to see him come back. Just his hippie ass shit on the field, in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of all the pressure, he's just chilling as if it's like, fucking, hey, how we doing, huh? All right, here we go. Come on, taking his thing off.
Yeah.
And then just slicing and dicing, just like surgery down the field. I'm excited to watch him play football again.
He's obviously been incredible forever, but he really is like arguably playing the best he's ever played in his career right now too. So like it's unbelievable. Like you've seen what he's done for the last 16 years, and he's legitimately playing better than he's ever played.
Just
right now.
watch a game.
Yes.
Just watch a game. If you hate him, which there are people out there that still do it, and I'm assuming all these narratives don't help you change your mind, even though I don't know how many hours this dude, I guess like he's had to have given us over 50 hours of conversation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Easily.
Over the last two. Like if you just listen to that, I think you do. Watch him play. And well, he doesn't put up as many numbers. You don't watch because he is literally just slicing and dicing a team apart.
Never turns it over.
Just slicing and
They
dicing.
also have two unbelievable running backs. Like
Who's not scared to get the ball to,
Exactly.
by
Just like off the top of my head, too, like the throw against the Niners over Fred Warner's head, the throw to Tunyon against the Lions.
What was that one in the end zone where he had? I think that was that the Niners game? In the end zone, two guys crashing on
Colts.
him, chilling, fucking chilling. just drops it and then gets fucking smoked.
Down the middle MPS.
And then just stands up and does his little jog with his little thing.
Yeah.
He's different than anybody else on earth. That is a fact. I will agree with you on that.
For sure.
But every motherfucker that's at the top is. We're back in 4 minutes. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I'd get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. If you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, or maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, you know, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think if players who played for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
Here we go, at the top of the class on the road, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah. You about to see me on demand, like, you know, on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream.
Today's show is brought to you by Arby. Ooh. St. Patty's Day is around the corner, and there's no better way to celebrate than with the Reuben Sandwich.
Oh, hell yeah.
From Arby's, obviously. It used to be that you had to go to your favorite local deli for an authentic Reuben, but no more. Arby's Reuben comes equipped with thinly sliced corned beef, natural Swiss cheese, Thousand Island dressing, and sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut?
All on toasted marble rye bread. Head to Arby's and get yours today. Shout out to Arby's.
Thank you, Arby's.
They also have a 2 for $6 thing going on where it's
yeah.
actually like full-size sandwiches, 2 of them for $6.
Oh, yeah, a lot of good items on there.
With the way things seem to be going, yodely, price-wise, I can't believe they're still doing that. It might be dead.
That will end soon.
It might be dead, actually, because of that. 2 full-size meals from Arby's for $6 was happening. I'm not 100% sure if it's still happening. If it is, you need to dive in there as soon as possible. Speaking of is happening, I mean, sports news is going pretty big right now.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers goes back to the pack. Now there's an entire source-off going on.
Big time.
This is awesome. Because I guess this is going to be the biggest news of the offseason is what everybody's saying?
Yes, without a doubt.
Unless Russ gets traded, but yeah, probably this is.
I mean, Russ gets traded also massive.
Yeah, that's huge, too.
That is huge news. Massive news right there.
But doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
Well, it sounds like the Seahawks are actually looking into adding more weapons for Russ in Seattle. And Pete Carroll said, we ain't shopping Russ. But there continues to be some conversation for whatever reason that Russell Wilson is maybe on the move. So I guess that would be huge. This was something, though, that all eyes were on. And I know people, tweet me and they say, you should just call this show the Aaron Rodgers Show or whatever. And by the way, I hope one day there is an Aaron Rodgers show because I think
that'd be sweet.
I think it'd be pretty good. I mean, I have no idea what he would talk about. I think that would be fascinating just in of itself. What are the topics that this dude's going to hit on this particular day? But he has been the news. Like, it's not just us, ESPN, NBC, Fox, everybody. Literally, the conversation was Aaron Rodgers, and every new insider information painted the narrative differently for everybody. There's a lot of people that are saying some very mean shit about Aaron Rodgers on the TV just as of yesterday. This dude's selfish, prima donna. Obviously, he's asking for all the money, but then publicly he's asking for the team to be built around him so they can win. Like, there was a lot of shit being said. And now, as we're learning from our source, says, it was like, I was just trying to figure out what was honestly the right move. What a selfish prick.
Yeah, it's
Complete
disgusting.
asshole.
Is he not?
Yeah.
Is he not just a big asshole?
I'm surprised he didn't, allegedly ask for $400 million.
That's still going, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Still
Oh,
being
yeah.
talked
That's all still being talked about. And I think it's because nobody has any respect for our insider news.
Yeah, probably.
Horseshit.
But I think it's because nobody has any respect. But in this particular case, I feel like the sports world knows, maybe does have source.
Yeah.
Says.
Has talked to
Does.
sources like 75 times in the last 2 years.
Publicly.
Yeah, publicly.
The whole world has.
75 times more than really anybody else, too.
So it's fascinating because once you take that narrative out, the guy's going back to where he wants to be, to the place he always wanted to be. 2 years ago, draft night, before they traded up to draft Jordan Love, after they lost in the NFC Championship and decided not to make the team better, let's think about the future, actually, which, by the way, I do not think was the only reason why anything happened. I think there was a litany of shit that has happened through his decade-and-a-half-long career at Green Bay. By the way, most of them not to him. A lot of them to his teammates that he cared about, coaches that he cared about, how the Packers have just kind of always gone about doing business was something that Aaron, I think, felt like, I'm going to change this for future generations. For actually, by the way, Jordan Love. If Jordan Love ends up being, I'm going to say, hey, this ain't how this goes anymore. We're in 2022. I am obviously a guy that people are going to put on the Mount Rushmore of football. I deserve a little bit of say, and also you don't have to treat people, you don't have to kick people out the door. Like, you can take care of people on the way out. You can pay people, you can keep people around. You can make competitive offers so at least people feel as if there wasn't a complete waste of time or energy in Green Bay. And I'm not saying that's exactly what it was. This is all just from our sources and our source says. And then as that kind of evolves and changes, it's like Green Bay, I feel like going forward is going to be a much better operation for the modern day of football, I think, with the modern athlete and the way things are going in the roster construction where players are going to play with people and hey, we're actually trying to put teams together. I think it is good all around that Aaron's going back there. But the narrative of him being an asshole has just been for so long, I guess people can't get off of it.
Yeah, and, whether that, like, a lot of times, too, if they probably can't stand half the stuff that he said off the field or whatever, stuff that has nothing to do with football. But it is interesting because you mentioned it. Like the Packers really are. I mean, like never before. Like they usually don't. I mean, they draft and develop. They don't go out in free agency and get guys. They definitely don't do stuff like this where it's kicking the can down the road and basically like selling out for a small window of time when you have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time on your team. Like so it is amazing that that narrative continues to get pushed too when you kind of see that like the relationship between him in the front office, and which is where a lot of this stuff stemmed from, like that has basically already been resolved.
All right, let's bounce around the internet to the reaction of this whole thing.
Here we go.
There was a tweet by SportsCenter that says Aaron Rodgers has decided he will return to the Packers for the 2022 NFL season, a source told Jeremy Fowler, ESPN.
Okay.
Pat McAfee and NFL Network were first to report the news.
Wow.
Look at us! SportsCenter!
Who knew? Wow.
This is obviously after ESPN had bottom headlines for all their shows.
Oh, yes.
Talking about the deal and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
But it is something that everybody probably was trying to figure out. Every insider was trying to learn what was going on in this. I think even like a young Shams Charania like insider in the NFL game was trying to learn what was going to do, because this is a story that is, going to garner headlines all over the place. And then you think about Aaron's life, everything he does is talked about. Everything he thinks about doing is talked about. Everything that people think Aaron is doing gets talked about. So the fact that everybody was like, that's what I'm reading whenever I see, this person was a source, this person was a source, this person was a source, this person was a source. It was like, everybody was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And I want to say this with a very straight face. I was not. I was literally I did not reach out. I did not do anything. That's his time, his world. This is a massive decision for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
His legacy will be talked about for this thing. Is he retiring? That would be that's 5 years from now. He's going in the Hall of Fame. Now we got to look back on the entire thing. If he got to the point last year where he wasn't scared of retirement anymore after the break, where he, kind of removed himself completely from the football world, wanted to see what life was for his mental health, to figure himself out a little bit more. What if he retired? That would be huge news.
Oh, yeah.
So what he has obviously been going through to figure out what the fuck he wanted to do and what the future holds, and everybody else had a timeline for him, I honestly believe he was just trying to figure it out. I tried to respect that. I tried to stay out of that entire thing. But man, everybody on earth was trying to get this, I guess. That's what I'm kind of realizing on the internet.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's what I was going to say, especially like coming off the combine where like how often is it where like all of these people are kind of around and gossiping about the NFL, and there's like one story. Everyone is talking about Rodgers, so obviously there's probably a shitload of people who think they have a source or someone close to it. But I mean, I don't know. It's just it's bullshit,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well,
It's awesome that this is the world we
No,
live in.
yeah, for sure.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped that we are able to be a small part of the... No, that's not fucking real. Like, I am. I'm pretty pumped about that. Because if you think about the modern world, welcome to it.
Welcome to it.
By the way, we say that because a parking lot attendant at 3 a.m. in Pittsburgh with a rat tail who's about 50 years old
Yep, fingerless gloves.
told me he needed my phone number, Ty's phone number, and Foxy's phone number to park our car in a parking garage.
At the hotel.
And I said, that's not going to happen. And he said, you think I want to do
But
this?
shit, it's not my idea. Welcome to the modern world.
Very much an inside this office thing, but every
Yeah.
time modern world is said, it's a home run
Good
for all
pop.
of us. So I apologize.
He had a good point, though.
No, he did not. No, he did not, because he was telling us about the 90s. He
He's
was
also watching porn in his office.
Well, we don't know about that.
Whoa.
He would say parking lot attendant at 3 a.m. in
Yeah.
the basement, probably not able to get many other jobs.
little long.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, not giving this dude 3 phone numbers from our
Not
group.
happening.
What are we even talking about? But in the modern world that we currently live in, it's vastly different than what it used to be. Even whenever I was in the NFL, before social media became the biggest thing, and as we all grew up, and I know the youngs probably don't remember this time, so let me try to paint this image for you. The TV networks used to decide what was a story, how was a story, who's a big deal, who's not a big deal, and who will never get talked about and who should get talked about. So that's why whenever you think about like Pro Bowls and all pros from back in the day, they're normally the most popular players, mostly because the media decided, hey, these are going to be the most popular players. I'm not saying none of the most popular players didn't deserve it, but there's a lot of other fucking players in the NFL that are very good, probably pretty good personalities, and never really got an opportunity to showcase that because some executive suit chose not to put them in a chair. Now, with that being said, the people that got put into chairs, whenever they would give takes, their opinions would then become gospel. So if somebody would say something bad about a player who necessarily wasn't in the media, it automatically became church. Hey, this is who it is. And unless that player was to whine and complain to a network to change the narrative, which, by the way, then they would probably be pitched as an asshole, whiny bitch because they're trying to change the narrative, there was no other story getting out except for what they were saying to the masses. The game coverage was a big deal. That's why the broadcasters are so important, because they were educating people on who was good, who was not good, and nobody got any information from anywhere else. Obviously, as social media has evolved, players were able to say, hey, I am somebody that, has a story as well. And I am a person that can say what this has been saying about me, or this person has been saying about me, is not true at all. Here's examples. We can watch film on social media. We don't have to go through the networks to tell us what play is important, what player is important. I think that is a massive deal. And I believe in this particular case, it might be viewed like 20, 30 years from now as a positive for social media and people being able to do their own thing in the world, in the modern world that we live in. Because if that's just reported and we don't have a source, says all day, just like we thought, takes the biggest deal. He draws this out. He was holding out for negotiation, for leverage. He's an asshole. He's an asshole. He's an asshole. Now people are starting to retract their stories, which is very nice of them to do. I guess that's journalistic integrity. But the fact that that became the running point and we were able to potentially put a little bit of a pause to that, like hold the fuck on, I think is pretty cool in the state of media. I honestly believe that.
No, that's very cool. But and also, like you said, going back to it, like you, there's a reason you weren't seeking out. I mean, no one else is talking to him like this show and like kind of this universe, the PMI universe, but you weren't that guy who was constantly saying like, hey, you're supposed to make a decision today, throw me a bone here, where I feel like even if he doesn't know who's saying stuff, like he knows people are digging. He knows people are digging around him. It's like trying to figure out what's going on. And that is a credit to you that it's like, it's never really been about
I'm not an insider.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not an insider. I don't like being in the insider waters, because when you're in the insider waters, you have to get pissed off about people not giving you credit. Hey, listen, I found this pool we're swimming in.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay? Don't be talking about the second person that jumped in or a third with false information.
Sure.
Misinformation.
Pee in her pants.
Exactly. That's basically what happened. Bob Domofsky writes an article. Credit to the NFL Network for breaking this. Now, he said he did not put that in there. ESPN, SportsCenter gave us love there, but all morning, Colin Cowherd, NFL Network, the NFL Network, obviously doing that entire thing, all running with the 200 million, 200 million, 200 million, 200 million, 200 million, because they know in that particular vein of take world, you can... Oh, asshole. Selfish prick.
Took way too much money. He's crippling the franchise.
Crippling the franchise. Held out all the way to the last day for the franchise tag day to see if they would do Devontae or not. I mean, it's just, this guy continues to one-up himself in selfishness.
And now they're going to have to cut 4 of his buddies.
Oh, how about it?
No.
Do you feel good about it? Way to go, Aaron Rodgers.
Prick.
That's literally...
Oh, yeah. That's how it is.
I can't wait till the afternoon block of shows today. We'll get some... grade A takes during that time as well.
Well, Orlovsky, will hold it down on NFL Live.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he will.
People might be talking about him throwing games, though, just so you know.
Who's that?
Maybe he should have warranted more money. Acho said Calvin Ridley was throwing games. He showed a highlight.
So I watched that highlight about Calvin. I think he was a joke, right? He was joking?
No, he was not joking.
You think that guy who put out the tweet was joking?
He was not joking.
I thought Acho was joking.
Well, yeah, you would think that.
I watched those clips. He was making people miss.
Because any normal person would be joking if they put out that. But no, that was...
Dead serious.
Acho was dead serious.
No way.
Yes.
I think so.
Swear to God.
I think so.
Because he got a pass, had a first down, tried to make a move, actually went back.
Yeah, but that was a joke, I thought.
First wide receiver in the history to go backwards to try to get more yards.
Yeah, not a joke. Very real.
But I am so... There's no way you guys are right on this.
No.
He actually, I believe, doubled down.
100%.
A lot of people were like, dude,
come on, dude. No
Swear
way.
to God.
Oh, yeah.
Swear to God.
He said, if I do recall, the tweet was basically like, I'm not saying Calvin Ridley was throwing games, but here's some footage that's very damning.
Damning evidence.
And it was very obviously edited by him. It was terribly edited.
Yeah.
It was I think it was a quote tweet from someone else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Terribly edited. Whatever. It was like an OBS. It was an Odell Beckham
Yes.
Sr. clip, basically.
Yes.
That he put out. And it was a couple clips of Calvin Ridley trying to make people miss where he potentially ran backwards. One was for a first down. He had a first down, comes back 3 yards, gets tackled. A follow-up would be, did they get the first down there? That would be a good follow-up piece of information. Then there was another one where he cuts like a seam, and then he's off and running with two guys, and the guy on his right seems to be catching up to him, so he decides to cut back, make a play, another cut back. Yeah. He feels like he's a very fidgety runner, which I didn't know much about Calvin Ridley, by the way. He had to be joking.
No, it was dead serious. That was the point.
All right, let's dive into that because we didn't get to it yesterday. And the Aaron Rodgers news, we'll talk about that again in about 10 minutes with AJ Hawk. What did he know?
Yeah.
How much did he know? You know, that whole thing. And congrats to him being a good friend and not letting anything out.
Yeah.
I guess.
He's a steel trap in there. Calvin Ridley yesterday was suspended for at least 1 year by the NFL because he had been caught gambling on NFL games this past season. Although he was away from the team with mental health situation, which sources have told us very real. There was some real stuff that the Atlanta Falcons excused it. Calvin Ridley was going through some real things. We don't know what exactly happened. Just sources have told us that it was something very serious. So hopefully everything is figured out in that particular department. He was back in Florida, and it was the weekend that the Falcons were playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he made bets up to $1,500. He had a 3-team, a 5-team, and an 8-team parlay. He bet $1,500 total dollars. If you listen to his tweet that he came out with afterwards, he doesn't have a gambling problem. I only gambled $1,500. And he made these bets on the Hard Rock Sportsbook app, which I completely forgot about yesterday because, you know, FanDuel is literally the only one that I even think about. When people say like sports gambling is legal, I'm like, oh, FanDuel's legal. Yeah. Oh, mobile sports. Oh, okay. FanDuel's legal. FanDuel's legal. And by the way, I think a lot of people think like that because of how damn good FanDuel is at what they do. Yep. Now, their Twitter account, they fucking perpetuated the lie for me and Rappaport is breaking news as well, which is fascinating.
Can't be having that.
Very fascinating.
Bold move.
You know, that's very, very fascinating. But the entire thought that Calvin Ridley put these bets down, a company called Genius, who was hired by the NFL to track basically all of the gambling sports books. And if any player's name pops up, I'd assume, I'm not 100% sure, I don't know the ins and outs of Genius. If any player's name pops up, they are to immediately report it to the NFL. Then the NFL, because sports gambling is legalized on the Hard Rock Seminole thing down there, you're able to track all of that. You're able to see exactly what he did, how he did, everything that he bet on, for how long he bet on that as well. We assumed it was a bookie. He was gambling with some bookie. The bookie got caught up and kind of threw him under the bus, like what happened with Pete Rose back in the day. Turns out he was actually doing it regulated and it was legal and everything like that. We do not know if he won. We do know that he bet on the Falcons to beat the Jaguars money line. Smart.
Yeah. Good call.
Good gambler. Good gambler.
Smart. We don't 3, 5, and 8-team parlays.
Shout out.
3, okay, cool. 5, all right. 8 is hilarious because he put an amount of money in there, $500, $600 on it, $700 on it, and he saw that the payout was $150,000 or something. He's like, oh my God, this is the easiest thing of all time. That actually explains to me that this was his first time doing this. If he does a 3 parlay, 5 parlay, 8-team parlay, I feel like this was his first time and he was getting his first experience of, oh my God, I know this is going to happen. It takes $500. I get this. I personally, just from outside looking in. With that being said, he knew he wasn't allowed to play on that. I assume the NFL told him they had this Genius app working that if your name pops up on any of these things, they will be flagged, tracked, and sent to the NFL immediately. And remember that if you gamble on NFL games, you will be punished very, very harshly. Yeah. There's a lot of people saying because the NFL has a deal with sports books and because how sports gambling is becoming more legalized, there's still 30-some states that don't have sports gambling legalized.
Wild.
Okay? So you got to remember that back in the day, not so long ago, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, players weren't even allowed to speak for alcohol. Alcohol was legal everywhere for a very, very, very long time. So whenever you think about the NFL with sports gambling, they were profiting off the alcohol for a long time, by the way. The players weren't able to do it. So whenever you think about the NFL with sports gambling, although it is growing and although they're doing business with it, which we all have seen in the world, we've seen enough commercials to drive us all fucking insane. And by the way, all the ones that we thought were terrible commercials and weren't working, they weren't. You know,
Yeah.
whenever you're watching them and going like, "Oh, would that make me want to gamble on that particular sport?" Probably not.
No.
I guess it's a nice piece of entertainment there, but I don't know if I'm gambling there. We were right that people were not gambling on a lot of those sites. I mean, that is how that whole thing goes. But I do not believe there is a time in any recent near future, 20, 30, 40 years, that you will find any league, okay, not just the NFL, any professional league, okay, with their players being associated with a sports book or gambling or anything like that. I know a lot of people are saying, like, take it easy, a year suspension is so much longer than other wrongs that have been dealt with by the NFL. And by the way, I agree completely with what you are saying. There's a lot of things that have not gotten the harshest of punishments that it has deserved. Justice has not been served in the world so many times, in the NFL as well. But anytime you think a player is potentially gambling or associated with gambling, it's going to ruin it for everybody. The people that are gambling, the people that are playing, the leagues don't want it, the people that are gambling don't want it. That integrity and the thought that this is clean sport, clean competition, battling it out with zero affiliations to anybody will always be what the NFL will grandstand upon to ever allow a player have a deal with any sports book. I just think that is going to be the case for a long time. And I know a whole season sounds absurd. 17 games, $11 million. But we all know that in the fantasy land, we don't want people to be made examples of. In fantasy land, we want everybody to be punished exactly on what the crime that they did. But in reality, examples are made. In reality, things take place to set precedent that, hey, if this ever fucking happens again, this is what's going to take place, because the NFL wants nothing to do with the thought that the players could be compromised by sports gambling, which is going to become a massive business. Now, I saw a great tweet from Demario Davis. He said, so now the integrity is being questioned because Calvin Ridley, who wasn't playing in the games, was gambling on sport. He was hired by an NFL team, though. And he's in the NFL. There's some things that for a long time you had to wait till you're retired that you could do. Smoking weed is one of them. Now, I don't know what the rules are. Obviously, guys probably aren't smoking still. But there are things you're not allowed to do whenever you're a professional athlete, when you're in the NFL. Sports gambling just so happens to be one of them. And he was away from the team, so he could have forgot about that. He could have been getting loose, trying to get his mind back right and everything like that. I am not, by the way, as somebody that started sports gambling when I retired, I love it. I thought my brain was great for it in the NFL. I've made money. It's awesome. Demario Davis, though, came out and said, so players are suspended whole seasons for betting on games. But when there are rumors about a team's owner paying coaches to lose games, we supposed to act like we don't see that? Somebody help me. I'm asking for a friend. Valid.
Yeah.
Very, very valid, which is why the Brian Flores situation was so big, because goddamn, if we got teams tanking in the NFL, in programs trying to lose, then it's not fair sport. It's not fair competition, especially with the billions of dollars that's being wagered upon every single game. So I think the integrity of the league will be something that the NFL will grandstand upon forever. All leagues will grandstand upon, by the way. Tim Donaghy almost killed the fucking NBA.
Yeah.
People still bring it up whenever something happens in the NBA. Oh, it's rigged. The refs are doing this. The refs are doing this. And all those things are going to have to continue to get looked into. But Roger Goodell is making a statement here. That's exactly what this is. And as the world continues to turn in the sports gambling world, he's just got to hope and pray. Refs, coaches, players, this is something they've been scared of. There's signs all over every single facility. And I believe that's why the year-long punishment was made, and why the year-long punishment probably by a lot of people is like, yeah, that's going to stay probably.
Yeah, you have to do it almost, because if you don't make an example of this guy, this is the type of thing where like it could be compromised quickly. Like if he gets a 2-game suspension, like, who gives a fuck? You know how many guys, like, you could get games compromised that way, because guys, like, if they see that this is what happens if you do this shit, it's not going to happen again, or if it does, it's going to be far less likely.
All right, let's get to a break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes here with AJ Hawk. Crazy news. Also, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
He's going to be live WrestleMania Saturday at the KO show.
What?
I believe. I wasn't able to watch the video, but it popped up in my phone.
Okay.
All right, we're back to 2 minutes with AJ Hawk. Can't wait to hear what he knew, when he knew, how he knew, and also how the narratives are going on TV about that selfish prick, Aaron Rodgers. See you in 2.
I put most of my success down to masturbation 7 times a day.
You got this guy. You can
Honestly,
pop. You can really pop.
Got to keep that blood pumping, baby.
Oh, that's amazing. Is that why you think you throw such bombs? Because what you've been accused of having shit in your gloves and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
What's that all about? That's because you're.
And the only thing I've been loading is testosterone from all the wanking over the years.
I saw that in what was that show? What was that? There was that show,
Mythbusters.
Mythbusters did it with a boxer actually, because the old myth was if you
women weaken legs.
Yeah. Beforehand, then they did on Mythbusters like, no, actually you get more testosterone immediately afterwards. It makes you stronger. You've been doping testosterone with your right hand, huh? Wow. Going to town on yourself.
Right hands and left hands, depending on what I feel like.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Hour 2, man. Aaron's back with the pack.
Hell yeah.
Right now. Yeah. Tuesday, March 8th. What a day it is. The Toxic Table is here with a very happy at Ty Schmidt. At Boston Connor. Tone Diggs, one half of the Hammer. Dahn Cowboys is here. The boys in the back. I appreciate you all joining us live from an attic in Ohio. Super Bowl champion, college football national champion, Ryder Cup champion, COVID survivor, and a man who probably knew all along what was going to happen. A man who has not swayed from his opinion on where Aaron Rodgers will end up, has said for the last 2 years, Aaron's going to be with the Green Bay Packers. This past weekend, he was at a wedding with Aaron Rodgers. What did he learn, and how did he keep it in yesterday? Big time news being broke this morning by me.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Such a selfish prick.
No, I mean, shit.
Imagine.
Who, Aaron?
Pretty cool.
Imagine big, earth-shattering NFL breaking news this morning from me. Aaron Rodgers is returning to the Green Bay Packers. And I know this dude is going to be incredibly excited. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. What's up, dude? You hear my news I broke this morning?
Yeah, what was it about the Russian oil ban? Is that what you're talking about?
I did hear that happened. Yes. Okay, that'll obviously have ripple effects. Excited to see what's next. Hope everybody's okay. T's and P's to everybody, by the way.
Yeah,
T's and P's.
T's and P's.
Except Putin.
Yeah.
Except for him.
With that being said, Hasbull, I think he's okay. I've seen
T's and P's to him.
There's still some more videos
No,
coming
I said no T's and P's.
No. We're not getting into it. Not getting into it. Now's not the time. That's what you wanted us to do, AJ. We're not doing it. How long have you known he was going back to the Packers? And when I got the call this morning from my source, Sis, letting me know that returning to the Pack was what was happening. There was no deal in place. A deal is now to be figured out that will be cap friendly, and retirement was a real consideration. Did you know all these things? Did you think all these things? And why do you think everybody runs with the narrative that this dude's an asshole all the time?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we truly don't really know anybody that we watch play on TV. Now, I think Aaron coming on the show the last couple of years, you definitely know a lot more than we did before, how open and honest he is. Whether people like that or not, it's up to them to have their opinion, whatever. But, I mean, I told you 2 years ago when all of this started, Aaron's going, why would he leave Green Bay? And here we are today. So, sorry.
Look at this.
You're a prick, dude.
Take a victory lap,
Yeah,
pal.
yeah,
God.
No, he didn't tell me. I never asked him straight up.
Okay, dude.
Wow.
I would ask him straight
AJ.
up, I don't care that much, but I would just tell him to his face, you're going to Green Bay. There's no other place. There's no better situation. You know you're going to Green Bay. Oh, you're an idiot. Like that's our conversation.
So that's the only way you would really talk about it with Aaron.
No, we would talk about it. Like I've talked about it over the years with him and everything, but like it's not every time you talk to him you try to bug him about all of that and what's going on. And ultimately, hey, there it is. Like he's coming back to Green Bay. The contract situation, I know you have disputed that. So I think that will be fun to watch how that all plays out.
How about them having to retract it now and then?
Have they actually retracted it?
Couple
people have. They're still going to run with it. I think they're still going to run with it because
have to.
Hey, we got a good 15-minute A block on this.
It's over. It's gone now because people saw that pop up first. So no matter what happens, that's his contract.
Well, and that's kind of my issue with the entire thing because in the actual news, like, hey, no deal. There is no deal in place currently, but there is said to be a cap-friendly deal on the way. How?
So how would people have
Where
the
did
number
Ian get his
already?
numbers from? That's the question.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like, Ian Rappaport then reported 3 minutes afterwards. I believe I didn't look. I mean, who's looking?
No. Yeah.
The Packers and MVP quarterback Aaron Rodgers have agreed to terms on a 4-year, $200 million deal that makes him the highest paid player in NFL history, sources say. He gets a whopping $153 million guaranteed, and his cap number goes down. A monstrous commitment by Green Bay. Congrats, Ian!
Yeah.
But if you look at the final line, I think you know where you're getting the information from. A monstrous commitment by Green Bay for years to come. And since Ian's been in this insider game for so long, everybody ran with it. But I hate to break it to everybody. Like, we just learned we could do the X thing today. So we are going to use it more often, I assume. Zito, that a baby's eat. But the whole thought, I actually asked Source Sis very close to the situation, and that deal might have been presented, but that doesn't mean that is the deal that was okayed, because I believe from my source Sis, like taking a cap-friendly deal with, to bring people back was always paramount in the decision-making. That's why a few weeks ago, when it said he's commanding to be the highest-paid player in the NFL by a wide margin, and then all the narrative started building. This guy all year says he just wants a little bit more respect and to be heard, and he wants to do punch of karma. Really, in the end of the day, he's a selfish prick, and it's all for negotiating tactics, and he's trying to cripple the Packers with the contract that he's getting. So I just sent him a text. First time I texted him, out of nowhere for talking, hey, just real quick, are you like demanding to be the highest paid player in this entire thing? Categorically false.
Okay.
Thank you. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna explain to people how this narrative gets painted. If you remember, that was Journalism 101 day.
That's right.
Where I'm not a big J journalist, but I said, boom, here's a report on Rich Eisen's show. Bang, that clip is taken over to here. Look at the headline at the bottom. Here's what this person says. And by the way, hook, line, and sinker, it works. Here's what people in the Packers fan base are now saying about Aaron because of this. Boom, and it just continues. Then the next day, bang, it goes, just continues to go. So whenever Ian Rappaport reports the 4-year, $200 million deal alongside talking that he's going back to the Packers, for them, it's like, justification. We knew this was the entire thing. And it's like, that is not what my source says have said and are saying today. It's just a wild game, isn't it? I mean, it's a wild game, AJ.
Yeah, it is. And it's just like anything. Like once the headline is out there, like old school newspapers, when people used to read those things, like whatever's on the front page, if it's a headline and it's not true, it doesn't matter. And 85% of the people saw that headline, and that sticks in their brain forever, even if there's a retraction on the front page the next day, which the retraction is always on the 10th page or whatever. So it's just how it works.
Isn't it awesome? The retraction is, no, he's actually not getting fucking 200.
Which is kind of it's a big part of it too, because as you've been saying, like the narrative that they're painting that he's selfish and he's going to take all the money and you're not going to be able to re-sign all these people. Like, no, that's why the fact that that's not a done deal is a big part of this story.
Okay, so you just confirmed. Did you hear that from your source?
That what?
Sis?
What, that he hasn't signed this 4-year deal that's out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he's done anything with that.
Okay. Hey, my source says it said the same. So multiple sources have, well, sources have told multiple people around the media landscape that's all bullshit. Isn't it amazing? That's amazing to me.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing, I guess. And it's still out there, though, right?
I don't know. We're going to find out. We'll watch it today.
We'll see. I guess what the thing is, whatever he does sign, whatever the deal looks like, will they compare it to that deal that we put out there and like, oh, well, it's basically the same thing, right? No matter what it looks like.
Well, and that's what we had to always say, because whenever the demanding to be the highest paid player, like that's a narrative.
He's going to get paid. People are serious, though. Are people serious that they feel like Aaron's number one priority is money?
Oh yeah, yes. I think a lot of people think that.
Okay, whatever your initial, like, whatever your opinions may be from the outside looking in, or watching him on this show or interviews, if you don't like him, if you were able to step back for a second, you could tell, like, all right, in his list of priorities, I don't believe money is the number one priority by any means in any decision he ever makes.
So in my eyes, the reason why, that narrative is probably something that he doesn't love. It's not just because he looks like a bad teammate with that narrative being pushed, like his friends aren't going to be able to get paid and stick around, and his teammates aren't going to be able to make money, and they're not going to be able to build a roster around him. That obviously is something, if I was the source, I would not be happy about. Like, hey, that's not what I'm about. I feel like I've talked ad nauseum about that not being the case. But also the human he is now, right? Like, he's like saying he's only about money is like a direct shot at the soul, that he is. Like, right? I think, like, that's a double.
His hippie vagabond lifestyle now, you're right.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I think, like, all of this stuff going out there, it's like you're taking a shot at him as a teammate, and then you're also taking a direct shot at literally who he is as a human right now. And you can see how that would have went too, by the way. This show doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would have kept going.
PFF Brad, I mean, he heard that there's no deal in place as well.
Wow. Okay, there we go.
I saw that on a tweet.
Okay.
Can believe it.
PFF Brad heard that. And Schneidman, shout out to Schneidman as well.
Yeah.
But I guess that wouldn't have
Hey,
been.
what if, though, Pat, what if all of a sudden he signs a 4-year, $260 million deal? It's like, no, it's actually bigger than that.
I'd be so happy for him. I'd be so happy if he got 260 M's. But also, I would have to come back and apologize to everybody. I'd say,
no, you're still right. You're still correct that deal wasn't the deal.
True.
As long as it's cap friendly.
And was it $200 million, or was it a little more than $200 million too? If you're
you could. They might be setting up a Bobby Bonilla situation where they're gonna, give him $600 million and pay him for the next 55 years.
AJ, they are still $21 million over the cap with his $46 million cap hit. So if you change that down to zero, obviously now they have $25 million, which is much, much greater than where they're at right now. His deal, he's going to get paid money. He's going to get
a lot. He's going to get paid a lot of money, I would hope.
Yeah, he's going to get paid money, but the entire narrative about him just like demanding the most amount of money and agree, like, it's just
most situations like this are about money. You know that, Pat?
What's that, buddy?
When people are having sit-ins now, as they have them, or holdouts or hold-ins, whatever's going on, or they're having issues, they're not showing up. It's always about money. It's usually never about anything. It's always like, all right, they need to pay me what I think I should be paid, and the team says this is what we think you are. Like with Aaron, it's never been about money, I feel like.
And if you listen to the hippie,
because ultimately, though, because Aaron has been paid a ton of money already, too. Like, I've heard people back in the day criticize older players, like old guys that have made a ton of money, and they want to criticize a younger player for holding out or something when they're coming off a rookie deal. And people are like, well, that's easy. That guy's been paid. Like, that guy's made $120 million. What's he saying to me? I'm on my rookie deal still.
Yeah, and if you look at like what Tom Brady did and, other OGs around who have been very wealthy. Now, I think Peyton's always been about that business, boss. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Hey, are we making money? Is somebody making money off of this? Yeah. Okay, I'm making money as well then. Like, I do understand and respect that. But the ability that you can change your entire roster at the quarterback position is real, depending upon your contract. That's why you see rookie contracts really make teams excited, because they haven't had to pay their guy yet, which eats into everybody else's kind of, meal almost. So I was pitching for a long time. The quarterback should have their own cap. Like, hey, just have them in their own world. And that used to be a thing, the quarterback club. Now, it was the high-end profile quarterbacks kind of fucking over the rest of the NFL, making their own deals and stuff like that. But, hey, good business. I guess you do that. But I do believe, like, quarterbacks should kind of be away from the salary cap, that's a conversation for a different day. It should be like a tiered thing almost. You can put them in this tier, or like the New Deal tier if you want, and it doesn't eat at everybody else's contract. I'm sure some lawyers could figure that out in the next CBA. They won't, but I'm sure they could if they did. But if Aaron does take a cap-friendly deal, that helps the Packers out immensely, bringing people back, signing new players, going on a run, continuing to build that environment and culture in Green Bay that the next 20, 30 years should look like because of Aaron taking a stand last offseason. It's just like, this is all good for everybody, I think. And that whole salary cap thing, I don't know why it happens. It makes no sense to me. It honestly makes no sense to me why you would hate a guy so bad that you would do that. And that's what it is, I think.
I mean, yeah, I guess people have opinions.
What's that?
People had strong opinions on the vaccine. So
you're saying the immunized son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's why it doesn't surprise me that they're still running with this, because it's been 2 years of saying how this guy sucks and he's selfish, and just because now it's coming out that that he's taking a contract for 4 years, $200 million, it fits exactly what they've been saying for 2 years. So it doesn't surprise me that they're running with it because of that. And at the same time, in 2027, I think Patrick Mahomes' cap hit is like $70 million. Are we going to say Patrick Mahomes is super selfish when that comes around because he's taken up damn near a third of the cap?
That might be the quarterback number.
Yeah, by the time the salary cap goes up, then if it goes up 10% each time, it's locked in at $208 million. I
think 208.2 maybe.
Yeah, it was locked in at 208.2, and then they say it goes up 10% each year.
That's a lot.
228, 240, plus 266,
300.
Does it ever end?
330.
Is there a ceiling ever for salaries? You feel like?
Because Apple's looking at using some of its $200 billion into buying the a Sunday ticket and everything like that.
They should.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's a scoop from AJ Perez.
Shout out.
Apple is considering using some of its massive $200 billion of cash on hand to acquire. By the way, they just got fluid.
Yeah.
They got $200 billion fluid. What are they doing with all their money? Oh, they're putting 8K cameras into their newest model of their phone for everybody to have. Even though the phone fucking stinks. The camera is unbelievable. And when Tim finally uses some of that $200 billion cash flow to make the phone and the camera kind of be good, that'll be a great day, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Tim, why don't we get that to fucking happen, okay? I appreciate all you're doing and, moving forward, and the cinematic version on the phone is fucking electrifying, but also the phone stinks. This phone is worse than your last 10 phones combined.
Yeah, maybe spend $50 billion on the fucking iOS because the goddamn thing doesn't work ever.
With that being said, Tim, love that you're getting into the NFL. $200 billion on hand to acquire NFL's available rights, like NFL Sunday Ticket, along with an equity stake in NFL media. Sources tell Front Office Sports, story via Mike McCarthy, REV, and I hate that guy. Remember?
That's right.
Who is the guy?
I don't like
McCarthy
that
one?
Yeah, I think so, right? He works at Front Office Sports.
I knew Front Office. I didn't know which guy it was.
What did he do?
Something. I forget what it was. I just remember not liking him, which is sad because, McCarthy's a good name.
Yeah. Especially Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy's a good name and all that stuff. He said something. I actually thought about buying Front Office Sports, if you do recall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I believe I told Mike, I could buy your company. Your company couldn't buy my company. Shut up. I believe is what my tweet was. Yeah. I think. I'm not 100% sure. That was. I was on one that day. There, a couple of days those do happen. I do apologize. Mike just so happened to be on the receiving end of it because he said something that I thought was disrespectful. So fuck off. But it does appear that he had a good piece of information here, and he's probably a good guy. Hopefully we'll meet one day and we'll get past it. But Apple's coming in with big money, and there'll be a bidding war then that starts, right? Because Amazon's going to want more shit. You'd assume they get Thursday Night Football, they lock in Kirk Herbstreit. They're allegedly going to pay $20 million to Sean McVay.
Yeah.
So they're
does Apple have a competitor?
They are
Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Apple, Amazon, Google,
Samsung,
Facebook. No, who are those big ones?
There's $1 trillion ones?
Yeah, there's like a name for that. There's like a
Alphabet. Isn't that all of Google or something though?
Yeah,
They call it Alphabet or something.
Yeah, but there's like some there's something
the metaverse. It's all under.
No, the metaverse is obviously Facebook, which is up there, but there's something that says all the companies' names, and the business people right now that are watching are saying it because this is something that is very much. But it's like Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook.
Is Microsoft on there or no?
No, I don't think
The Illuminati? What are we talking about?
All right.
What is wrong with you?
You're talking about the most powerful companies on the planet, right?
Yeah, we're just talking about the companies that are acquiring everything. They're getting into the everything business. What's it called? FANG?
A lot of people in the chat right now are saying FANG.
Facebook,
F-A-A-N-G.
Amazon, Netflix, Google.
2 A's.
2 A's, sorry.
Apple.
Yep.
There it is. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. So they're all in competition together to own the content space. Amazon obviously has a head start on delivering food and being a part of that entire game. But look for all of them who have a massive amount of money, a lot of platforms that they need filled with content, and want keep people to stay on their platforms. Look for them all to get involved. That's why when Amazon got involved, I was like, all right, well, that means that all these other motherfuckers are going to get involved as well. In the money that they have, AJ, these dudes are just shitting out billions.
I mean, you said Apple has $200 billion in cash just sitting there waiting for them to use it for something.
Bought MLB rights.
Yes.
Who did?
Apple.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah, so that was like $24 or something like that.
Yeah,
Jeff Passan. Hey, shout out to Jet, by the way.
Hey,
Stay
strong,
keep
Jet.
going, Jet.
Good luck out there, Jet.
Fuel the jet,
Jet on the player side in arbitration for the first time in the history of arbitration with leagues and players. That baby, Jet.
Good luck, Jet.
Hey, good luck, Jet. Stop swearing, though, Jet. You can't be saying shit.
Watch your mouth,
Son of a
Jet.
bitch.
Come on, Jet. Anyways, Jet Passan's reporting Major League Baseball's newest TV partner, Apple. At the company's event today, it announced a deal with the league to carry a Friday night baseball doubleheader on Apple TV Plus. Starting this season, games will be exclusively broadcast on the streaming service. Shout out to MLB negotiating deals with platforms when they don't have a league yet.
Jesus
So this
Christ.
is good news for the league, though. This is fans. They think that there's going to be something to at least barter, or they punt it down the road to at least another year. But Apple's going to get into the sports game big. Amazon's going to get in the sports game big. Netflix probably going to get in the sports game big. Why not? With how much money they have.
Netflix is the only one that doesn't have live stuff, though, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Apple buy rights to another league?
I don't think Apple. Does Apple have live stuff?
Oh, I don't know.
Everybody's going to get live stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird because
Spotify just launched a live audio thing. They're probably going to get a live show. In my eyes, and this is not necessarily from my sources, but kind of my conversations as somebody that owns and operates a rather large live daily show that is in the digital world, my gut instinct from the conversations I've had, everybody's going to get in the live game. They can't figure out the tech. Everybody's trying to figure out the tech. YouTube's able to do it, obviously. So that's Google's arm, being able to do live. Twitch does it for Amazon. Look for everybody to figure out a way to get into the live game and into the platform game to keep people on there. So I would assume the FANG with the AA will all get into the NFL, and they just signed for $110 billion, I believe. That is able to be ripped up and redone, especially with these new companies potentially coming in. That salary cap's only going to go up and up and up and up and up and up and up, I think, personally.
Well, live sports are king. Like, they are what people need to acquire because people, it's like appointment TV. You'll come watch, right?
Bro, we will be doing this on this show. Let's have a moment of silence for ESPN. They lost their live rights for all sports to Google. It was a great network. It's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Let's have a moment of silence for CBS Sports. They lost all of their live rights to fucking Netflix. They are now dead. Rest in peace to Fox Sports. They lost all their live rights to Zuckerberg's metaverse. They are now fucking dead. That is what would happen, I think. Honestly, I believe.
That is what they're scared of, too, don't you think? Those old school institutions.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they need to be scared of it, but they ain't got dudes just hopping into spaceships going outer space because they have so many billions they don't know what to fucking do with themselves. You know, like that's what Amazon is.
Yep.
Amazon's they're sitting at a pretty good spot, I would say, too, when they have all this money to use and the NFL is bigger than it's ever been and it looks like it's going to continue to grow and grow. Like, it's a good time, I guess.
Well, it's a great time. It's a great time to be in the digital world, AJ. Great time.
Great time to be Al Michaels as well.
Well, great time to be Al
Yeah.
Michaels. Great time to be Al Michaels. What he's going to get? What, $25 million a year?
Yeah, he can do the Kevin Durant thing and just sit in a house and then just basically have people come and battle for it.
I have told one particular company that I'll wait for everybody else to get into the game, and then hopefully whenever they get into the game, it'll be a little bit different for all of us. And then that is great negotiation, I believe, and leverage because they all know that everybody's going to get in.
Yeah.
All the people that have so much money, too much money, they're going to get into the biggest thing on earth, which is the NFL, because it's a big flex too. You got to remember, like, the people making decisions are all executives, and they have friends, and they mingle with other executives, and it's a big time flex. Oh, look what I did. Look what we did. Look what we signed. Look what we got. That's a big time. Getting NFL rights, I would assume Amazon is peacocking around in a lot of conversations. They've been in relationships, though, with the NFL for years. The NFL is normally a, hey, let's crawl before we walk type partnership. Maybe that's why Apple's like, yeah, we'd also like the media. Like, we'll just buy into the media. What's the value? How many billions? Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll buy the whole fucking thing, actually. Yeah. Well, we're not giving that away. We're only giving them 15%. Let's take it easy. All right, well, still, we're in that game. So it's a whole process, all of these things.
If Amazon really wanted to make just like a huge splash, why wouldn't they just make it the most competitive offer for like Sunday Ticket too? So that if you were going to watch like you almost have to go to Amazon. Like there's no way they can. I mean, I guess you just hear these other companies are getting in, but like they're viewing that as there's no way they can lose that to Apple, right? Don't you think?
Well, all of Fang.
Yeah. Well, true.
They're all. Every finger's watching the other. What's that motherfucker doing? Son of a bitch. We need
When can they come bid on those packages?
Whenever. The Sunday Ticket's up right now.
Okay.
So that one's
Sunday Ticket's huge. That's what DirecTV has, right?
Yes.
So they're dead. If they lose it, they're dead.
Yes. By the way,
they lost.
That's the only reason people have DirecTV.
Yeah, they are dead. Rest in peace to them. Oh, I'm silent. Sorry.
Are they even making a play at it?
Probably, but they're literally shitting out billions at these other companies. Why are you laughing in their face, dude? They had a hell of a run.
Good run.
Fucking dead, though.
Yeah. See ya
later.
Hey, too much money ain't enough money. That's what
these are like blind bids that these like Amazon, Apple, they don't know what anyone else is bidding, right?
No, and initially Amazon was trying to get Sunday Ticket. So now Apple is trying to get Sunday Ticket. I would assume there is a current, on the baseball bat thing happening currently. And
what if you're the NFL? Like first offer comes in like, oh, here's $1 billion, and the next one comes in. Amazon's like, hey, we got to make a splash. Let's go $15 billion. Like they up them that much. Like that could happen.
Like War Dogs.
Yeah,
War Dogs. Those dudes were $300 million or $400 million under the next closest. God damn it. Yeah, I don't think they care. I don't think any of these people care.
I know AT&T doesn't have Amazon money, but they have to have some money for DirecTV.
They ain't gonna fucking keep up.
Yeah,
they don't have Amazon money, Apple money.
I know that's what I started with.
That's why Google.
Yeah, but you were trying to debunk our moment of silence. You're saying we shouldn't have had a moment of silence?
No,
they're not dead yet? You're saying AT&T DirecTV's not dead yet?
I assume they make some money. That's all I assumed.
Oh, no. No more Scott Hansen?
What?
Well, that would be a victory for all of us.
Tony.
What is happening?
Let's get to a break.
Is he the DirecTV guy?
Let him cool off a little bit.
Is it Siciliano?
Yeah.
I believe it's Siciliano who's getting the axe.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
Cutting him down.
Yeah, cutting him down on his knees is right.
Bring a bigger chair in.
This is a tiny little...
Hitting him on the head like a nail with a hammer.
With a hammer? Guys.
Damn it. Close this
Are they still doing that to him?
No. He looked awesome at the Combine.
Yeah, he did.
He looked like he was 6'9". Yeah.
Shoot, he looked awesome. He was alphing, I think, Sirianni.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Sitting on a King James Bible.
What is your problem?
That's what
We do
I
not
saw.
know if that's true. It was the desk. The desk was covered. He looked great. He looked unbelievable.
He did.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever get thanked for that, but because of how rude.
No way. Well, I mean, he dunked on AJ's face, so I think we're even.
Yeah, you're right.
That's true.
When you did the interview.
You went on with him. It was maybe the most awkward interview in the history of TV.
All time.
Yeah.
All time.
I have, shockingly, when things with Aaron happen, I get texts and calls. People want me to come on their show. A lot of them actually right now during our show.
Orlovsky called me in the fucking open. Okay, I'm doing an open, pretty big open. Cutting here we go, trying to describe the entire situation. My left thigh is vibrating. I'm like, oh, who would be? Maybe this is Aaron.
Yeah.
That's literally what I was thinking. Oh shit, this might be Aaron. So while I'm talking, thinking, doing my entire thing, I look, Orlovsky, what the fuck? Orlovsky. So I literally text him, what the fuck are you calling me for? As Michelle, I just want to say congrats, man. It was awesome today. You're very nice.
Thank you, Dan.
You're very nice,
you, Dan.
I want to let you know that was not what I was thinking of saying to you whenever you were calling me in the middle of that thing.
Just a nice guy, man. Dane, hey, good for Dane too. He's gonna be a free agent here soon.
Yeah. Hey.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, he said he didn't like that he talked about it. He felt bad that he was talking about it publicly. I'm like, Dan.
Oh, come on,
This is
Dan.
business, Dan.
They need you more than you need them, Dan.
Dan's on TV for the next 10 days, 10 hours straight.
Yeah.
Just sleep at the studio.
Make sure you're fucking with it too, Dan.
That's right. Yeah. Got a midnight Sports Center hit tonight, and you better bring the fucking heat.
Okay, you get to be on there. You get to be on there. Okay?
Don't you ever forget that.
What a day. We're back at 4. We'll answer some phone calls maybe on a 500 phone
Hell yeah.
line. There's also other breaking news. Obviously, Calvin Ridley, OBJ talking, Kyler Murray on social media. Patriots and Dolphins would have interest in Amari Cooper if he's released by the Cowboys, which everybody's saying he's going to. Why not the Colts? We shall see. There's a lot to talk about on this franchise tag day. Who else will get tagged? We'll cover all that and more in 4 minutes. We appreciate you. Cheers.
It really comes down to, and pardon my French, but giving less fucks. I think that it's a maturity that comes from aging, from making mistakes, from failing, from being too sensitive at times, from taking things too personal at times, and it's about growth and learning not to be indifferent, because I think indifferent people are terrified of making choices, and it's a cold place to live. It's about choosing what to care about, and the things that you do care about, it's less things. It's not trying to be a part of every conversation or get involved in everything or setting yourself up to be offended about certain things. It's caring more about specific things and less things, and with those things, it's finding ways to solve the problems, because true happiness doesn't come from eliminating all problems in your life. I believe it comes from solving the problems that you have and dealing with the pain and the suffering that is natural in life and is a part of life. It's not fleeing from pain and suffering and running from those things and not dealing with the emotions of situations. It's looking at those head on and saying, how can I solve these problems and make my life a little bit better? And that's what I've tried to do the last couple of years, and I've talked about in the show as well. It's about perspective. And I truly believe this, when you focus on the things that you have more than the things that you don't have, you allow yourself to let gratitude sink in. And when the gratitude sinks in, it is always accompanied by joy, because you're focusing on the blessings that you have, not on the things that you don't have, the things you wish you had, the way you wish your life was that much better, you wish you had this, you wish you had that. You'll always be unsatisfied. But when you take solace in the fact that you're where you're supposed to be, and that life is going to come at you with pain and suffering and failure and frustrations and mistakes, and just trying to solve those problems and do a little bit better next time, it allows you to, I think, be a little gentler with yourself and admit that you're a human. You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to please everybody. There's always going to be a 500-pound elephant of possibly hatred and malice waiting for you, whatever decision you make, and that's just part of life. You got to deal with it and just try and be better the next time.
So you feel freer, it feels like, huh? You kind of feel free.
Yeah, there's a liberation that comes from caring less about the things that don't really matter in this life, I think. And I will say, if anything, and I know the two of you, the best on this show, and so I won't speak for the other boys, but I'm sure they're very similar. There's a lot of joy in being unapologetically yourself. And I think in life we respect people the most often who are that way, who don't try and change or be different or grow meek in situations that require courage, that go quiet in situations that require communication. And that's what I appreciated in both your friendships, is that you guys have always been yourselves. And Pat, I haven't known you as long as I've known AJ. I sat next to AJ for 9 years, and I had so much love for him and appreciation for the friend that he is. But I always admired and was inspired by the fact that AJ was always himself. And he believed that who he was exactly who he was supposed to be. And he didn't have to be different or put on a face for anybody. He was unabashedly himself. And I think there's a lot to be, gained from doing it that way. And what I love about you and the boys is that's who you are. You guys show up every single day, not with an agenda, but with an open mind, and create conversations around important topics, and then you just be yourselves.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show on this. Oh, Aaron's going back to Green Bay Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
March 8th, 2022. Right in the middle hour or two. AJ Hawk dropped off immediately upon us going back live. Of
course.
I don't know if it was his internet, maybe his source. Says we're calling him, ladies and gentlemen. AJ Hawk is back. AJ, did you drop off because you were getting a phone call with more information or what?
Yeah, I got like 3 phones up here. I'm out here working the lines trying to get all the insider info.
Hey, bang the lines, cuz.
Get on.
Right.
You got to hit the phones, bro. I've told you guys, like when you're doing a political campaign, you got to hit the streets, got to hit the phones. If you go through a breakup, you got to hit the phones. Call all associated friends and get your story out there.
That's right.
Tried to tell Joe Donnelly.
Because allegedly, he needed
to pound the pavement.
He was dead.
Yeah.
Get out.
He was dead in the water. I told this story before. One of my friends went through a breakup, kind of went like away for like a week and a half, came back, had no friends because his ex called everybody and said that he was a terrible person. And it was like, did you even get your story out? He was like, no, I fucking was sad. I had to get away. No friends. Got to pound the phones, dude.
That's right.
Got to hit those phones before you disappear and get your story out there, pal. You'll come back with nothing. That was a sad day for that.
Yeah, that's tough.
And by the way, I had to not get a call from the ex, so I didn't even get the other side of the story, but it sounds like she's a real bitch. And I think that's what everybody said about him that heard her particular side of the story. But nonetheless, I thought that's what you were doing. I thought you were maybe calling the source Sis to find out more, but there isn't really anything more to be known, I don't think.
No, there's nothing new. I mean, all we cared about is that he's going back to Green Bay.
Aaron Rodgers liked a couple of tweets.
Ooh.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They were our announcements of saying, like, hey, this is all bullshit what you're hearing right now about the $200 million and demanding that whole thing.
Oh.
Yeah, so
the source
says
liked.
Yeah, here's Aaron. Likes. Yeah. Look at me doing my jack dance, like pow, 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 pow. You see me doing that? I was getting after it a little bit, AJ.
Pretty sweet. Like you're doing double shake weights.
All right.
He's not skiing.
By the way, I have been working out. I don't know if you've noticed. Have you seen it? Have you noticed?
You look good, man. Yeah, I know. Aren't you posting? You're doing the climber, right?
Yeah, I'm doing a climb. I'm doing 2 days right now. I'm doing full on.
So you sauna in the morning, just to get heated up, or do you ride a bike in there? What do you do?
No, I don't know. I don't understand why I'm in there, but I've heard I'm in there.
I don't either.
So this morning I hit the Stairmaster. I did like a 70-some floor sprint, and then I got in the sauna just afterwards for 15, 20 minutes. I heard that's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
So then I showered and, came in, got a little lift in. Tonight I'll box 9 people in the Oculus.
Man, I'll tell you what, when you are getting ready for an event, you really get ready.
Yeah, I do have the ability to
flip the switch.
Just kind of
probably feels good. Doesn't it feel good to have something to work for, like something to work towards?
Yeah, it's really nice. And it's also like there's a reason for me to potentially eat healthy. Because I could talk myself
easier
out of
that
it.
way, yeah.
I could talk myself out of it real quick. Oh, that pizza looks damn good. Well, why wouldn't you eat it? Nothing going. Yeah, fuck. Give me 2 of those.
Maybe that meatball sub I can take a quick bite without Sam getting me on camera.
All right, let's go to the phones. That won't ever happen. You hear me?
Again?
There's no other food in the house.
I bet there's some other stuff.
In the safari, like the.
You mean your backyard?
Well, it's at the old house. I don't know how everybody's doing there, but out in the safari.
Everybody's dead.
It's a mass graveyard.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's bad.
It's basically
Corpses.
the boneyard from Lion King.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it's sad.
Oh, no.
It's a sad state of affairs over there.
I don't know if that's true. This is all misinformation.
I don't know.
Your source says are all full of shit and hearsay.
I don't know. I heard all the animals turned on each other and just started ripping each other to shreds.
Anyways, okay, in the desert or safari or whatever, if you find the watering hole, you'll probably find where to hunt is that has been the rule forever almost. Like, hey, everything that lives is going to have to get water at some point. You find a watering hole, you're probably in a good spot. You'll be able to keep it moving. That's what my house was. My house was a deserted island of food. The only food in the house was that meatball sub. And it was put right, I should have known. I mean, I trusted being at the house. I'm in a safe place. Put that meatball sub basically under a spotlight in the middle of the kitchen, and there was no other food. It was like the water in the middle of the desert, dude. Obviously, I'm going to flock to it, and when I did, hook, line, and sinker, What are you doing?
Oh.
What is this?
Pretty
This is
good.
my
That's
home.
pretty good setup by Sam.
Yeah, it's next level. She's playing chess. I fucking got my eyes on it there now. I ain't falling for it ever again. You know why? Because I'm bringing food into the house. I'll bring my own food.
Oh, yeah, you got that whole meal system, right?
Oh, it's supposed to come today. It's supposed
Here
to
we
start
go.
today.
Really?
Really?
Hope it gets here.
I hope you like
Thought I
it.
saw
Let's
a box
ride.
up there.
There's zero chance I like it. I tried to tell the nutritionist person, hey man, if I don't like it, I ain't gonna do it. And there's about 100% chance I ain't gonna like it. I'm doing this keto right now. I love it. I'm having bacon. Some steak. I have a steak every night. Are you kidding me? With the Lesnar blend on it. Ooh,
Yeah.
give it a medium here.
Nom, nom.
Nom nom nom.
Yeah.
Give me a little bacon and eggs. Oh, I love it. I don't think you're supposed to do it full time because you will die.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, some doctors say and some don't.
Well, but as I'm like eating a sausage and bacon and then just like another one and another one, and it's like, yeah, this is good for me. I'm like, this seems to go against everything I've ever been told in my heart.
A lot of grease.
A lot of grease. You drink a lot of water, though. You drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
I do drink a lot of water.
So
I'm
that
flushing
kinda-
that a lot.
Exactly. And you're not eating the potatoes every day. You know?
Well, that wouldn't be keto. Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
are you on the carnivore diet where you only eat meat, nothing else?
Sort of.
I eat eggs.
Oh, when we did
I eat
ask-
eggs, I
when-
guess.
When we,
Poultry.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
when we
just doing
talked to-
keto.
When we talked to Brock about it, I said, so just me? He goes, no, you got to mix in the garbage.
Well, he had that diverticulitis situation too, so I'm sure he has to be on top of that.
Yeah.
Oh, Brock did?
He said mix some veggies in.
Didn't he have like 30 feet of his colon or something taken out?
I believe so, yeah.
Excuse me?
Holy shit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was
Because he came back to
life-threatening.
MMA and got kicked in the stomach right after the surgery. It's terrible.
30 feet of your colon?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
He had
I
a
don't
certain
know what
amount
it
of
was,
something
but
taken out.
He did get a bunch of stuff taken out.
What's that thing inside your body that has like 7,000 yards of it?
Intestines.
It's large and small.
Yep.
How's that even work? Where is it? It's in here?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all
it's kinda
curled up.
stuffed up on top of each other.
Right now?
Oh, yeah.
Like coiled up.
How much is there in there?
A lot.
Yeah, what is
like
it?
60 feet.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Just got a signal from Tiggs. It's like a Batman single.
Oh, it's a big.
Oh, really?
Blockbuster. After weeks of negotiations in one of the largest trades in NFL history, the Seattle Seahawks and Denver Broncos have agreed to terms on a deal involving Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson. The trade is pending a physical and Wilson's approval. You would have to assume that the Denver Broncos, with Nathaniel Hackett as the head coach, former offensive coordinator of the Packers, was eyeing Aaron Rodgers to become a Denver Bronco. Our source did not tell us this, but there was enough smoke around the NFL that Denver was in on the Aaron Rodgers deal. Now that Aaron goes back to Green Bay, the Denver says, fuck it, well, let's go to Seattle. What do you need? Give us Russell Wilson. Nathaniel Hackett gets a new quarterback in Denver. The Broncos get a new QB. Is Drew Lock going to be the starter for the Seattle Seahawks? Allegedly. It'll be multiple picks and players is what the Seattle Seahawks want for Russell Wilson because Pete Carroll ain't doing a rebuild. This comes just hours after it was reported that the Seahawks were interested in multiple weapons for the offense. Was that to appease Russell Wilson, or was that to rebuild the team that they knew they were going to have to build after sending Russell Wilson to Mile High, Denver, Colorado? AJ, this is a blockbuster. What a Tuesday. March 8th, Aaron Rodgers back to the Packers. Russell Wilson traded to the Broncos. I assume one domino led to the other, but this is a monumental day in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, it is. So because this happened so quickly after we hear of the Aaron Rodgers news, I would assume this has been in play for a while where they've been working on the back burner saying, hey, if Aaron doesn't come here, we want to set this up and get Russ to town, right? So the fact that this is already being reported, I would assume they've already been working out the legwork for a while.
So let's think about it because Ian Rappaport, who,
He fucked up.
Yeah.
He did.
He fucked up.
He painted the entire wrong narrative.
Yes.
That wasn't real, according to our source.
Says.
But I believe every insider has said that the Green Bay Packers had plan A and plan B. Plan A is if Aaron comes back. Plan B is if he does not. The Denver Broncos probably had similar conversations. We have plan A if Aaron Rodgers, the man who knows our offense and we have a great relationship with, wants to come to Denver, we will do this. Plan B if he goes back to the Packers or retires. We're going up to the fish tossing city up there in Seattle, and we're getting Russell Wilson. This is via Adam Schefter. There's another tweet coming from Adam Schefter. Denver acquiring Russell Wilson has nothing to do with the Aaron Rodgers decision to return to Green Bay.
Yeah.
Denver general manager General George Payton initiated trade talks with Seattle for Wilson at least 2 weeks ago, per sources. Sure. Of course.
Yeah, right.
Of course.
Yeah, natural.
Yep.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Wow.
We wanted Russell before we wanted Aaron, is what they're trying to say here to Russell Wilson.
Right.
This is not because you were plan B for us. You were always plan A, Russell. It was always Russell for us, pal. But we all can kind of, assume that maybe there was 2 deals on the table, one for Aaron, one for Russell, whatever the case. The Broncos get a stud at quarterback if Russell Wilson says, yes, I will go. And this day is going to be talked about forever. And if we look across the studio at a guy who told me to look at my phone for the Adam Schefter breaking news, Tone Diggs is now staring down the reality. Aaron Rodgers ain't going to Pittsburgh.
What?
Russell Wilson can be traded. He's not going to Pittsburgh.
What?
And there's a lot of other teams probably around the NFL that feel the exact same way as Tone Diggs.
This one hurts. Okay. Aaron's awesome, obviously. He's a 2-time MVP.
4-time MVP, back-to-back.
Sorry, back-to-back MVPs. But Russ is 5 years younger. Like, you could still get 8 years out of Russ. And, like, if Russ was available, I hope there was a play made. Because if you were in on Aaron, I think you should have been on Russ too, clearly, as the Denver Broncos were. Yeah, now I'm
Okay, so this is interesting because
Mitch is still out there, right?
Mitchell Trubisky, we don't know what he's going to get paid. People are saying at least $10 million. He is now probably an Indianapolis Colt.
Wow.
Oh.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congrats, Mitch.
But with that being said, Russell Wilson, if he was on the trade block, you would hope that your team would have been involved.
Yeah.
I think is what we are both saying now.
Yes. Yeah. Now that it's sinking in your fucking head, too.
Yeah. You guys had no chance, though.
Listen,
Colts had no chance.
The news happened. The news happened.
First round.
The news happened was like, holy shit. As you were talking about it, sunk in like,
Steelers aren't getting a quarterback, neither the Colts. Now, Russell Wilson has to agree to this. Denver's a beautiful city. Obviously, anybody that's ever been there has said that they absolutely love it. I don't know if that goes into it. He is in a tough division. That's what people are saying about Aaron. Aaron don't want to go to that AFC West. People think Aaron Rodgers is scared of fucking anything is interesting. And the fact that Russell Wilson's coming out of the NFC best or whatever, going to the AFC West, fascinating. 1 year ago, AFC West quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr. Insanity, says Ari Mirov of Pro Football Focus at My Sports Update. Once again, via Schefter's tweet, Russell Wilson has to agree to this, but you would assume he had already agreed to Denver if Seattle was going to do all the legwork to get a deal done with Denver. Because 1 year ago in Fargo, North Dakota, the Chicago Bears and the Seattle Seahawks met, and they were offered, 3-1s or something like that to get Russell to Chicago. This came after Team 3 expressed disinterest in returning to the Seattle Seahawks because the offensive line wasn't good enough. The offense wasn't Russ-oriented enough. I want to win Super Bowls. I want to be Russell wants to be a top 5 quarterback. Russell wants to win Super Bowls. Russell needs a better offensive line. Russell needs a little bit more say. Russell needs a better team. Russell Wilson never said any of this. This is all team 3, team 3, team 3. Then when the season got back, hey, we all love each other. Remember? John Schneider, I think, or Pete Carroll, or Russ, I forget which one. Pete Carroll was doing the a press conference. Josh Schneider was there, and Russell Wilson poked his head in and said, hey, we all love each other.
Yeah.
I was like, well, Team 3 doesn't. I mean, the people you're around, they seem to not love what's going on. They go on to have not their best year, and we thought that these talks would get loud. Last week, Pete Carroll said, we're not shopping our quarterback. And Pete Carroll said, or Russell Wilson told an interview in Washington to JP Finley, I believe, of NBC Sports. He said, I'm in Seattle right now. It's where I'm at right now, and I love it. Both sides had to know that he was potentially on the move. Both sides had to understand what cities were available for him to move to. And the fact that he's going to Denver changes the game immediately for Seattle and for Denver, a team that everybody talked about, if Aaron was to go there, would be Super Bowl contenders. Let's assume that's the case again with Russell Wilson in there. But that division is going to be tough, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, Denver has to be super pumped to get this to happen because, like we said, they have this whole team around Russ now. You bring in Russ, bring a ton of hype, and also a guy that's an absolute stud. So I think that's a good point, Diggs. Who knows how much longer he will play, but he has plenty of great football left in him. But I start thinking about the Seahawks and what they're going to do. Like, Pete is 70-something years old. He doesn't look like he looks great, but who's going to be their quarterback and what's their team going to look like?
Call that bitch my bodyguard.
Yeah, that's my bodyguard.
Drew Lock. Come
I like Drew Lock.
Gino?
Yeah.
There is players involved, so
They're going to be shit. I mean, we can just say it. They're not going to be that good. All those other 3 teams are very, very good, and now the Seahawks are their best player.
And those other 3 teams are very, very happy that Russell Wilson is no longer in the NFC West.
You think Josh McDaniels turns the fight around now and just comes back from Vegas and says, fuck it?
Cliff even said, remember?
Oh, yeah. Would love for him to get traded out of it. Would absolutely love for Russell Wilson to get traded out. But it was always so much like it's happening.
We said before, though, remember before this season when all this stuff was happening with Russ and the team, I think we said on the show a couple times, like, all right, yeah, Russ will be there this year, but I don't see him in Seattle after this year. We said that months and months ago.
I would say a lot of shows say that they say those things, but I do believe we had at least the conversation that, hey, this story of Russ wanting to leave last offseason after having a bad season is not going to go away. It's not going to go away. That is going to only intensify. But everybody thought with how old Pete Carroll is, he's not going to want to move on because who's better than Russell Wilson? To build a good franchise and a program, to not go into full reload, you would have to get another quarterback. The most important position has to be fulfilled. And they said Pete Carroll ain't going to, just accept anybody. Drew Lock's ready to fucking ball.
Likes Drew Lock.
I mean, now do we start the Tom Brady to Seattle rumors?
Oh, Pete Carroll loves competing, especially up there on that bay. And if he could just get Russell Wilson's house, which already has a field in the back of it, he's potentially trading out there. Jay Glazer now reporting. Russell had a no-trade clause, but Broncos were one of the teams he said he'd waive it for. That's hashtag Jay New. But we would assume that if there was a deal that was met, Russell had already agreed on it because why would you even waste the time?
A little bit of irony there, too, with the Broncos being the team that they beat the pants off of in that Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. A defense, Legion of Boom.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
How involved do you think Pete Carroll was in this? Because this literally is contrary to everything he said he wanted to do, and I thought he had actually like quite a bit of involvement with Schneider in like the decision-making process.
I'm intrigued by it all because we're not shopping the quarterback. And as soon as he said that, we were like, oh, does that mean he's letting people come in?
You're not shopping them, but you're going to listen to offers.
Yeah, you're letting people come in? No, we're not going to go out and pound the pavement, but if they want to come in,
it's not like it's an official. Like it doesn't start out like some super official memo that they send to you. It could easily be a call from a buddy on the other team, the other front office. Hey, what do you guys? Is there any chance you guys would think about moving on from Russ? And then you can kind of gauge it, and then you go from there.
The Gumpy. Let's make sure we give credit to Adam Schefter for that one.
Have to.
Congrats, Adam Schefter.
Right.
I wonder what the commander.
I'm in the insider business. True. Zito just said there's more breaking news. Von Miller. Oh no, Zito. Oh, okay. Zito said just wanted to add to the conversation in my ear.
Von Miller.
Von Miller was talking about yesterday about coming back there. So Von Miller, you're talking Von Miller, Russell Wilson, that entire team, and I don't know enough about them, and I do apologize to the Broncos for not knowing enough about Jens, but I guess now the whole conversation has to be the dude who was in the West Coast and maybe suffered from a little East Coast bias now moves into Mountain Time.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's good.
They got weapons.
Did Vaughn know that Russ was already set up to come there? Was it yesterday that Vaughn put
That's
out
what they're
that
saying, that the
Photoshop
tweets.
of him and the Broncos?
Yeah, and I thought maybe Vaughn was doing that to maybe get Aaron to go there. Personally, like in the moment, I'm like, oh, is this Vaughn being like, hey, Aaron, like if we go there, maybe it's a, hey, Russ, let's go ahead and do this thing. Sierra and Mile High and Russ. Imagine those events they're going to go to.
Denver's gorgeous.
Oh,
too.
my God.
Play for the Rockies, too?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Thin air.
Yeah.
Think about his training. He puts that mask on to try to get the thin air.
He's going to be so good. Now he's going to wear the mask, and he's actually going to be in thin air as well.
Double.
Oh my God,
He's going to be trained at
space.
25,000 feet.
Yeah, he's in space. He's like that guy for Red Bull that was up there falling out of the sky.
Felix Baumgartner.
So it is now being reported that Drew Lock is going to Seattle. Tom Pelissero is reporting that the Broncos have informed quarterback Drew Lock he's been traded to Seattle as part of the Russell Wilson deal per sources. Pete Carroll said, I like way a guy. He dances and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Probably.
Hey, Drew Lock still might be okay.
We don't know. I mean, that's what the Broncos fans have been asking.
For him, though, I'm actually happy for him being a part of this. He's going to get a change of scenery. I'm sure it'll be fun. everyone talks when you get to Seattle with Pete and the whole system, how much energy, how much positivity is around. Maybe it'll be a good change.
I think. Hey, listen, I love Drew Lock. Broncos fans have been asking for 2 years. They're like, is this our guy or not? Is this our guy? No, it's not our guy. Is it our guy? It's not our guy. It's not our guy. We can't go through 33 games wondering if this guy's our guy. At what point we have to decide whether or not he's our guy. He could have got a new start with Hackett. Instead, he goes up to Seattle. Will Ferrell will be there. They'll be on the water. They'll be shooting hoops. They'll do the entire thing. Maybe it'll be a perfect fit for Drew Lock. And maybe Drew Lock's story has yet to be told in the NFL. The story today, though, Aaron Rodgers back to Green Bay, Russell Wilson to the Mile High City, blockbuster trade, massive
configuration,
recalibration.
Reconfiguring.
Realignment?
Rekindling. Aaron in Green Bay.
Yeah, nice.
I think so.
Yep.
All right, we're back in 6 minutes, hour 3 on the other side. What else will happen today? We shall find out. See you in 6 minutes. Cheers. Now it's time for SmackDown Rumble Championship Weekend. We just had another Super Boost.
Oh, yeah.
What a fucking 3-day run. I'm lucky to live this life, and I'm thankful that you all watch.
Hey, here we go. All the wins. Yeah. Gotta get a no call to quit. Yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah. But I'm about to wait 'cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all that is. You might get my home. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
Please work with us, Hey, my dude.
Squeeze the Bible. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I was trying to do. All right, well, see you later. Have a good trip.
I'm giddy. I am so pumped. It's like the night before the first day of school when you were a kid. I know it's being said that the GOAT of the NFL, Tom Brady, is retiring. Well, the GOAT of the WWE, Roman Reigns, is in his prime at his peak. Hey, happy birthday! Happy birthday! All right, our sources haven't confirmed whether or not Drew McIntyre can be standing up, but come on, Cole! Come on, Cole! Feel it, Cole!
You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
Cold train has gone to the sky.
I'm dangerous, down, wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes, the opposition don't amaze. The road switching through the pavement, get your hands out of my bag. I know this because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. Guess what happens when you taking care of your business, but some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket, you still got a problem. I ain't perfect, let them.
Oh, fuck you, Pin.
Cole, that is one of the worst of all time.
The worst pours of all time. And a baby Foxy! Just so everybody knows, it is noon right now. And
Chameleon gold and magenta jacket. Big Cuban link. Obviously, good launch. Pinky chain. Gold-plated Steve Madden's.
when I woke up this morning in beautiful St. Louis, the air smelled better, food tasted better. Tonight, dreams come true. Surprises are in abundance. It's Royal Rumble. Let's go!
It is an honor to see the man. Once your ratings get this low, then I'll come to Buffalo. That's why you're a good guy.
A jackass has entered the Royal Rumble. Jack, good to see Wee Man is still alive after Brock Lesnar put him through a Four Seasons table last night. He is dressed like a jackass. He is a jackass, and he's in the Royal Rumble. He looks good. It sounds good. St. Louis is ready. The alpha male of our species is infuriated. Jump over the rope back, buddy. You got 2 tours. You got fans. You got music to make. You want to poop your pants immediately? Be in the Royal Rumble when this man is announced. I'm buying all of the depends that they have because Brock Lesnar, after a brutal fight with Bobby Lashley, comes into the Royal Rumble. It is an absolute ass-kicking machine. We just had
another super boost. Back to back. Back to back.
What? Do you ever think about dabbling more on the internet? I know you don't really do it much, but
never.
you are beloved on there, Chuck.
Hey, Pat, never going on the internet.
Chuck!
Never go. No, because two things. Number one, once you're successful, I always say, being successful is like being the homecoming queen. All the ugly bitches hate you. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. When you're successful, you're gonna have built-in enemies. And then the more successful you become, the more enemies come at you. So I don't want to give them access to me because I'm not that guy. If you say something mean to me, I gotta say something mean back to you. When I was younger, I used to fight all the time. I'm too old to fight now, but I can still verbalize some insult.
Yes.
And like, let's say if I'm out drinking, because people know I like to drink. If I'm drinking my vodka or some tequila and you insult me, there's a 100% chance I'm gonna say some shit back at you. And the problem with being famous, Pat, and I don't like calling myself famous, but it is what it is.
Yeah, 21.
People can say anything they want to me, and nobody gives a shit. But the first time I go crazy on their ass, I'm gonna get crushed.
Yeah, you're not classy. You're not professional, obviously. Yeah. Be a
so
gentleman.
I choose not to let people have access to me in that situation.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 3 on the most packed day of NFL offseason. Action begins now. Yeah! AJ Hawk is to my left, you're right on the screen. The Toxic Table is here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here as well. If you're just joining us and live under a rock, let's recap the morning that has been Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. At 11:25 this morning, I put a tweet out announcing to the world that Aaron Rodgers would be returning to the Green Bay Packers for next season. What will the deal be? We have no idea, but other people were reporting a number in numbers that were completely false. No deal has been put into place currently, but they will work on a cap-friendly deal over the coming days, weeks, months, whatever.
Exactly.
Retirement was a real consideration, and we assumed that other people's sources were accurate in stating that there was a lot of teams involved. Pittsburgh was potentially involved. The Titans were potentially involved. And another team, the Denver Broncos, were allegedly looking for a new quarterback. Their head coach, their new head coach, Nathaniel Hackett, former offensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. We assumed Aaron Rodgers might end up in Denver. We had no idea what he was going to do if he didn't retire or go back to the Packers. The Denver Broncos saw that news, and although they're saying this is not the case, we can only assume with common sense, saw Aaron go back to Green Bay and pulled the trigger on a trade just moments ago for Russell Wilson out of Seattle to join the Denver Broncos. Drew Lock is a part of the trade agreement. We don't know what else. We will keep you updated as we find out more. Adam Schefter was the one that broke the Russell Wilson news to Denver. Here's more compensation for Seattle. Seahawks get back talented defensive lineman Shelby Harris, whom Denver considers a locker room leader, along with quarterback Drew Lock and multiple multiple picks. So none of the weapons on offense are out of there. Nobody, I mean, Shelby Harris, this guy, hey, absolutely, great run.
Yeah, good ball player.
Their defense is great, and if he's a locker room leader, he's a part of that defense. Let's assume Shelby Harris is a hell of a player and multiple picks. That is the deal for Russell Wilson to end up in Denver. The initial tweet said that Russell Wilson had to agree to this trade because he has a no trade clause. Jay Glazer came out and said Denver was one of the cities that he had already agreed to. So the Aaron Rodgers domino falls back to Green Bay. The next one, okay, well, Russell Wilson's going to Denver. AJ, this is an insane day in the NFL's offseason history.
Yeah, for both of these things to happen, like monumental things, really, I guess, to happen within a couple hours of each other in the offseason, it's good. It's a good time. This what shows you, like, football is king. Like, whatever happens in football, the superstars that are in the league, every single thing they do, it's a pretty big deal.
Well, this is also what everybody was saying there. Everybody's waiting on the dominoes to fall, Aaron Rodgers, the domino, and then immediately, bang, bang. What's next?
Yeah.
Now everyone else that doesn't have their quarterback situation all square, like now they're getting really nervous, I'm guessing.
Franchise tag deadline ends in an hour and 54 minutes for the NFL league-wide. Who will get tagged? Who will get moved? Quarterbacks are on the go today on Tuesday. Not just quarterbacks, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, Drew Lock also on the move.
Yeah, that's right.
Drew Lock might be a guy we don't know. I mean, nobody knows, including the people in Denver, and they're like, hey, we should already know if you're going to be a guy. He hasn't been a guy. Maybe he'll be one in Seattle. Maybe they'll look for another quarterback. Who knows what they're going to do with the picks and everything like that in Seattle. But Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers making these two decisions in the same day is fucking awesome.
Yeah, insane. And, Denver losing Shelby Harris, who was a locker room leader for the defense. Von Miller will probably fill that void as a locker room leader for the defense. And if you're a team like Pittsburgh, who might have been in, this type of circle with trying to get Russell or trying to get Aaron, you got to assume they're going to throw a lot at San Fran now, because now Jimmy G kind of becomes that top spot for.
Come on home, Jimmy.
Yeah, for quarterbacks.
Jimmy's coming to Indianapolis.
Whoa.
Jimmy's coming to Indianapolis.
There's only 3 Italians in all of Indianapolis, okay?
3.01.
Carson has to do. I feel like.
Harley.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
His fiance.
Oh, she's Italian?
Thank you.
Tony.
Holy shit.
Yes.
How was I supposed to?
Whoa.
She's not my fiance.
He's out.
Come on,
Wow.
Diggs.
He's not invited to the
I
wedding.
think we've all actually talked about the amount of gabagool
Yeah.
that's going to be at that wedding. Because
It's going to be one less now.
well, it's going to be.
No,
there'll be enough.
Invite Mr. Fazzolini.
Vaseline
Just have him
come.
slide in.
Coach Diggs better be here. But
You want to invite Count Chocula, too?
Sure, that'd be cool if he was there.
That's who Mr. Fazzolini is.
what? Oh, Count Chocula isn't real.
Cartoon
Coach-
character.
Coach is invited.
Very
Tony's
real
not.
man.
Okay.
Coach,
Anyways.
okay.
We got East Hills Gabagool and North Hills Gabagool coming in. I think that is going to be one of the most emoji-filled weddings I've ever been a part of. I don't know. What are the North Hills? I'm not going to say it because I only got 0.01%. I don't want to say it. Paisans, I'll say. What is the North Hills Paisans like? Are they active like the East Hills Paisans or not?
They're hungry for a quarterback, Pat. That's what the bottom line is. It doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is.
Yeah, but I'm
what
talking
your
about
country
the
of
wedding.
origin is.
I'm not
Everybody
talking
wants a
about-
quarterback.
You
And
got
there better
Magoo.
be a starting quarterback besides Mason Rudolph in place on that team come wedding day.
Oh, you're saying that's what everybody's going to rally around is how bad Steelers stink now.
Anyone but Mason.
Oh my God, Mason has to hear all this, but hey, that's tough stuff
Well,
for the NFL. But it's not just that interview on Jim Rome was not great. Jim Rome, great. Mason Rudolph didn't have his best day. He'll probably be better the next time. But whenever you think about Colts,
What?
Carson's staying.
Yeah, he has to.
All right.
Where else do they go? Where else do they look?
Well, we don't have any number one pick this year, as Connor reminded me, because Carson played with 4 broken legs and had got over 85% of the snaps somehow. 2 sprained ankles. He should have missed 3 weeks. That would have given us a number one pick.
Yeah, I would have. Unfortunately, though, you get Carl right back. You only have to pay him $33 million, which, in the grand scheme, isn't that much for a starting quarterback.
Yeah, it's a discount.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't they just cut his ass and go after like Trubisky or Jimmy
The dude
G?
was an MVP candidate.
He was.
Not last year, he
2017
wasn't.
He was. Yeah, the issue was we had an MVP candidate in the backfield, and he wasn't getting the ball because we were checking out of it. So, I think so. I don't know if allegedly. But you look at the Colts, who are, in the potential quarterback market. You look at the Steelers, who are potentially in the quarterback market. You look at the Panthers that were allegedly in the quarterback market. There's still a lot of teams. Saints, I think Saints
Commanders.
and the Commanders were all the way in on every situation, allegedly making entire offers and proposals to every team in the NFL for their quarterback. There's still a lot of teams that need a quarterback. And with Malik Willis now becoming the favorite in the draft and Kenny Pickett dropping down a little bit, I wonder how this whole thing's going to shape up. It's great to be Jimmy G right now. It's great to be Mitchell Trubisky right now. And I think every team will just end up having to be excited about whoever they end up with. Let's go to those rookies. These are the future rookies here. Malik Willis, minus 170. He was not the favorite before the draft to become the first quarterback selected. Kenny Pickett now plus 200. Sam Howell, who started from a freshman all the way through at University of North Carolina. A lot of games, a lot of experience. He's plus 1,100. Corral, who's healthy and going to be working out his pro day, who Diggs wanted as a Steeler for like 10 months. He's plus 1,100. Desmond Ridder, who's a stallion, he's plus 3,000. Carson Strong, plus 10,000. I haven't done enough research, but everybody's saying none of these dudes are going to be starting quarterbacks that are worth a fuck next year for whatever reason. I'm not the one saying it. I'm just telling you what everybody has been saying throughout this entire draft process. So these veteran quarterbacks, last chance Qs, they're sitting pretty right now, AJ. Hey, how's the family? Pretty good if you're Jimmy G, it feels like.
Yeah, they really are. I think those quarterbacks, don't those always change too the weeks leading up to the draft? Like who they think will go first. And so that's all going to change. But you're right. There's no far and away guy. If your team sitting there needs a QB, hey, maybe we trade up into the first round and get somebody. There's not that one guy that you can feel like super confident going and grabbing.
And whenever you trade for a veteran, there's always the contract now you have to deal with your salary cap. It adds quite a, kind of a wrench into the entire thing. But that is the year that we're in with so many quarterback-hungry teams and such limited quarterbacks available, especially now that Aaron went back and Russell Wilson's now on the move to Denver. It's crazy.
You can probably throw Seattle, I feel like, into the teams that are probably looking for a QB still. It's not like Drew Lock
has teams. We got like 6 teams, right?
Yeah.
When's Seattle draft in the first round?
They have a high pick. I think top 10. So
when's Denver drafted?
Actually, the Seattle Seahawks do not because they traded their picks.
Oh, my God.
So the Broncos have 9, though. So let's assume they're getting that.
Yeah.
So it'll be Jags first, Lions, Texans, Jets, Giants, Panthers, Bears, Falcons, Seahawks. Now crack into the top 10. Top 10 pick this year. Everybody's saying there's so much depth at edge rusher. There's so much depth at corner this year. Top 10 pick might not mean as much as it has in the past, but you bundle that with a couple other things, maybe the Seahawks do make another move.
Jay New has tweeted out the rest of the compensation.
Jay Glazer, the trade is for 3 players, one being Drew Lock, Shelby
Harris.
And
the third one hasn't been released.
And 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and a 5th for Russell Wilson and a 4th.
Damn.
Hey, we want that 5th-round pick. Is that what when was Russell drafted? 4th?
3rd, I think.
Yeah.
Why do they want a 5th? What is that?
They got over half their draft, don't they?
Sleepers in the 5th round.
2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders. So they don't have a first or a second for the next 2 years, you'd assume.
Yep.
And then a 5th this year probably for Russell Wilson and a 4th, which the Broncos are like, we need at least something.
Depending on who the third player is, I mean, that's for Russ.
Yeah, that's
pretty
unbelievable.
good.
You kidding me?
Me, I'm giving up if I'm getting Russell Wilson and I get to keep all my guys, I get to keep all my guys, all my studs. New head coach Nathaniel Hackett's got to be he's got to be pumped.
Yeah.
Zito said he's got his ears to the ground on the internet. Maybe Noah Fant being the third person. Nick said he's searching.
Alan Bell from CBS Sportsline. It's a verified account. I'm not familiar with him, but he tweeted out that Noah Fant is the other player involved.
So it's Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, and Noah Fant, allegedly 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and a 5th-rounder for Russell Wilson and a 4th. That sounds like a lot, and I think on paper there'll be people that say Seattle wins this, by the way. There'll be people that say that.
Yeah, maybe they both won. I mean, Seattle got a lot of picks. They got what they wanted. They got some players.
Yeah, maybe.
Russell probably didn't want to be there. Don't you think Russell didn't want to be there. Like they wouldn't have. I don't know if they would have shopped him like this if everything was perfect.
Remember, he said we're not shopping our quarterback. Denver had to have gone to them, and obviously the Aaron Rodgers domino falls on the same exact day that this deal takes place. But Adam Schefter, who broke this news first, said this isn't because Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson was never our second option. He was always our first option. But when you look at that deal, Russell Wilson in a fourth here, and then everything that's over here, this year's first round pick, next year's first round pick, this year's second round pick, next year's second round pick, a fifth round draft pick from this season, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, Noah Fant. You can look at that and think, yeah, I think we're getting enough back. But if all those picks turn into shit and they aren't even a game changer for you, which I'm not saying is definitely going to happen. Maybe they draft well. I'm not 100% sure. I think people say they don't draft well. That was a big take, I think, by Orlovsky yesterday. But, man, if you get a guy, you get your guy like Russell Wilson, you got to be fucking pumped. Like, I bet you Denver was like, all right, we're either getting Aaron or we're getting Russell Wilson.
Yep.
And we're giving up however many first rounders we need to give up, however many second rounders we need to give up. They want a couple players, cool, let's go ahead and do it. I like that, by the way. And if you're a Denver Broncos fan, I think you should be very pumped about that as well.
Oh, of course. I mean, I when you say like, oh, they're not shopping him, whatever that means, of course, if you're going to try to negotiate, Seattle's not going to go to Denver, hey, here we go, bud. You guys want to trade for our quarterback? You're going to wait for them to come to you, gauge their interest a little bit, and now they figured out the compensation that they need.
Hey, you let them set the table, and then you go ahead and eat at it. Classic negotiating, by the way. Anytime somebody says, what are you thinking? Yeah, you aren't, okay? The other person is. You go ahead and let them do the thinking, and then from that you can either be offended or you can move on that. It's a very smart businessman told me that one time. I let them set the table, then I will go eat at it. But they're always going to say, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? It's like, well, I ain't ever giving that. I just want to let you know that ain't ever happening. I'll let you go ahead and set the table.
Keep it, mysterious. You don't have to let everyone know what you're thinking at all times.
But then as soon as that number is put out there, then you let them know what you were thinking. Mm-hmm. Oh, shit, I wasn't thinking that. Deal. That's a deal. That's a bingo, what you just said. Is that right? Actually, that happened in a meeting at Super Bowl week. Somebody said a number for something, and I said, deal. Give me 10 of those. Yeah. All right, this thing's locked up, right? And whoa, 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 whoa. I'm like, hey, I thought we were spitballing that.
Too late.
I just heard that one. I think we made a deal here. I think. I'm not 100% sure. We can make it better than that. I'm like, all right. That's good news. Mm-hmm. So know that I'm in on that then. And then it's like, fuck, I kind of gave away all my leverage, I guess, in that entire conversation. But nonetheless, expectations are what they are.
Well, and people who say that Seattle won this, trade are the same people that say the Lions won the Jared Goff trade. And like, that Lions pick, that was a first rounder, is now the 32nd pick. And you can probably assume that first round pick that, the Seattle have next year from Denver will probably be in the late 20s because Denver's going to be much better with Russell Wilson as their quarterback.
No, the AFC West is a gauntlet. True. Adam Schefter is now confirming that tight end Noah Fant is a part of the trade. So Noah, Shelby Harris, Drew Lock, 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders, and a 5th rounder for Russell Wilson and a 4th round pick because Nathaniel Hackett said, give me a fucking 4th round pick.
That's right.
I need that 4th round pick.
Hey, do you think what Seattle got from Denver, do you think, I know they said that they didn't have any official offers for Aaron in Green Bay. Is this what Denver would have tried to give Green Bay to get Aaron away?
Well, that's what you would assume.
Probably. I'm not hurt. A lot. I mean, they gave away a lot to get Russ.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike the Stafford and Lions trade, early scrolling through NFL Twitter is that the Denver Broncos clearly got the better part of this.
Is this because of what happened with the Stafford Lions when everybody was like, oh, the Lions win? Do you remember that bullshit?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Foxy. You didn't even believe it because of how hard we were drumming. Like, nah, you guys lost this, you lost this.
No.
But the media was like, the Detroit Lions pick up a lot of draft capital.
Mm-hmm.
They have a brand new fresh face going forward. They won this trade if you look at it in depths of it. And maybe like 3 years from now, if the Rams are dead and Stafford's retired and somebody is still doing well for the Lions, they'll be like, remember we look back, the Lions won this trade. It's like Rams won a fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Rams won the trade. It was obvious because the Lions don't draft well. Even teams that do draft well, it's still an absolute toss-up when you pick a player. So the draft picks it's like gambling.
I forget. I think 3 Pro Bowlers in the last 52 players drafted by the Seahawks, and one of them is Michael Dixon, I believe was the tweet from Orlovsky.
Wow.
Because he kind of took a shot at the punter. He was like, and one of them's a punter. It's like, hey, Dan, All right, fucking pipe down.
He ran out of the back of the end zone,
I do appreciate you, congratulating me and saying good luck and everything this morning. But also, no need to slander that they drafted a punter that made the fucking Pro Bowl. That's good eye. Hey, other people could have drafted Michael Dixon. Everybody knew he was going to be a guy. They did it. They got it. But I think the narrative that was trying to be painted there by Orlovsky was not that great of a drafting team. Like Russell Wilson was drafted there, so I guess that's a great draft pick. But also, Dan Orlovsky, since 2016, the Seahawks have drafted 52 guys. I mean, come on.
Nailed it. Well done.
Thank you. I saw that tweet probably one time yesterday. A lot has happened since I seen this tweet. I'm fucking proud of this brain right here. Since 2016, the Seahawks have drafted 52 guys. 3 have made the Pro Bowl, and one of those is a punter. The last first-round pick they made that was really good was Earl Thomas in 2010. They have the 4th best roster in their division. Rush should 100% won out was what he was painting. But I think in our particular situation right now, the thing that should be painted here is they stink at drafting.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how many, and maybe they'll hit on somebody. Who knows? Maybe this year, maybe they got unlucky. I assume they did. There's a lot of factors that go into somebody having success in the NFL. But what do draft picks matter if you aren't good at making draft picks? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
If you're giving away your franchise quarterback to get those draft picks too, to where now, we got these picks. We're set up better for the future, I guess. But also, what the hell do we do at the quarterback position?
You actually seen it get rained down on me right there. Seahawks Twitter, fucking suck it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I know it's a bad day for you.
Oh, yeah, you already have a thing with them, don't you?
Yeah, this is a bad day for Seahawks Twitter, and you guys are going to have to live with many more bad days, it feels like. But the amount of times y'all motherfuckers have attacked us for talking about what is being reported by people and the words and the way things are being answered, and us picking them apart saying, these are very smart people. They're choosing to use these words for a reason, and then it all kind of like led to maybe Russell's on the way out. He's like, well, you got to pick apart everything. They're not shopping the quarterback. Why don't you fucking report that, McAfee, you asshole? Russell Wilson loves being here. Why don't you report that, you asshole? It's like, he's here right now, and he loves it. Those words seem to be properly placed. We're not shopping our quarterback. Okay, could have said there's a 100% chance Russell Wilson will be a Seattle Seahawk next year. Didn't say that. Said we're not actively shopping it. It's just how in the phrasing works in Seahawks Twitter. You're going through it. I don't want to kick you while you're down, but also like fucking suck it. Dude.
Yeah, sorry.
You know what I mean? I don't want to.
Sorry about it.
I'm not just big doofus in a tank top every single day that's just doing shit for clicks. It's like, hey, we're just trying to read the writing on the fucking wall, dude. And I think you should have been saying thank you to us so you could brace yourself for this particular moment, because the future, maybe they find another quarterback. Maybe they use all these picks that they're getting and bundle it to make a trade for another quarterback. Who would that be? Jimmy G is going to go within the division? I don't know if that's necessarily a truth, but maybe that's what they're looking at. I'm not 100% sure. But the writing has been there for a long time that Russell was going to move on. And I'm pretty surprised, honestly, that it actually happened, because I was taking a lot of crap from Seahawks Twitter. So we're very passionate about it. Very passionate bunch. I thought they loved people over there. They were very mean to me.
And the ripple effect, too. Like, he can kiss DK Metcalf goodbye. He's probably not going to stick around for, what.
Oh, no. Seattle's dead.
Seattle's dead.
No. AJ.
What a bummer.
They're dead.
Sorry, Macklemore.
It will be weird watching them play without Russ at the helm. And also, I'm very excited to see Russ's introductory press conference he has in Denver here over the next few days.
Does he say, like, go Coes or something like that?
Yeah,
for
what do you
Broncos?
say?
What is their
Bronx?
Go Bronx.
Go Bronx.
Bronx Pride.
No, you might just say 5,280. And
Oh, that would be awesome. I'd be in on that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it might do something like
Actually, he's going to put out a video. Team 3 will put out a sweet video, I bet.
What if he says go 5280?
that's pretty cool.
What if that is what it is?
TM. That, yeah.
Let's trademark that. Aaron's back with the pack. Go 5280. What a day. Let's go to the phones. Let's see what the fucking world is thinking here. I'm sure these will be fantastic. Let's go to Meg in Omaha. Meg, what's going on?
That AJ boys, how we doing?
Keep moving.
Meg, thank you.
That is everything I dreamt it would be. Also, shout out Mafia. So, listen, Steelers fan, and after everything that's gone on today, which, by the way, what a fucking day it was today. But, like, what are our options here? Because you guys touched on it earlier with the Jim Rome interview, but, like, Mason's not the answer. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Meg, great question.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Meg.
Meg, we appreciate you, Meg. Great energy in there. Meg, call back anytime. Mason Rudolph is not the answer. She said that from Jim Rome and probably watching her play. Pittsburgh Steelers fans have been forced to watch Mason Rudolph play in relief of Ben Roethlisberger for years now. And I feel like the entire city has already come to a decision that maybe Colbert and Tomlin have not yet. But you guys are running out of options.
Yeah.
I mean, just like the Colts. Hey, Carson Wentz is going to be a Colts quarterback next year, and I just need to start acting accordingly. That's what you guys should start thinking as well.
There's only one option left, okay? Someone climbs up to the top of the PPG building, okay?
That's a building in Pittsburgh.
Okay. Or the UPMC building.
Another
Either
building
one.
in Pittsburgh.
Those are tall ones. And they get a Batman-style light, and they put 7 in the sky. Oh. And 7 comes back.
Oh, mama, I've been here all my life from the arm of the Lord. And Ben's like sitting at home.
Yeah, but here's it.
What's he doing at home, though?
Bobbing his baloney.
No.
Family.
Well, he's retired. I don't know.
Family.
Probably hanging out with his family, chipping in the backyard with the kids.
He's got a sick basement.
Oh, yeah.
They need me.
Yes.
I knew they were going to need me.
Thank you, Seven.
I think I'm going to be able to get out of training camp this time, too. Ben just shows up at the first game. I'll only come on Sundays. Is that good? I know the offense already.
Fine.
Whatever you want,
Fine,
Seven.
deal. Whatever you want to do, Seven.
But if he doesn't do training camp, he's going to show up like 350.
All right.
He
What are you
needs
talking about?
Let's go to the phones.
Pat, I'll
He's gonna
take
have that
Terry
live arm,
Bradshaw back over Mason. Anyone but this guy. Please. Anyone.
One-man show?
Listen, you need to understand that Mason Rudolph is going to, I mean, he's going to be doing this one right here, and he's just going to be handing that thing off the nose.
He's going to stutter through the cadence.
Well, that interview wasn't
I watched
fantastic.
it back. It wasn't as bad as people were saying it was.
No, it was worse.
It's not a starting quarterback in the NFL, though. Everybody assumes.
156,000 times in a 2-minute video, but
I get trapped in some things like that, but
No moxie.
that's the confidence that it takes to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. You think would normally carry you through a lot of conversations and interviews because that is a part of being in the NFL. So I think that type of alpha mentality is something that every team is looking for whenever they're looking for a quarterback who is confident in their own skin, but also able to take on everything that's going to be, kind of thrown at them as their starting quarterback. Mason Rudolph ate a helmet.
He did.
yeah.
Okay, so that cannot go, just dismissed.
It's true.
But listening to him speak, I don't think there's ever like, that guy should be leading men. And maybe he could change that, though. Maybe Jim Rome was just a bad day.
Maybe. Well,
Hard to have a bad day when you're talking with Romy.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well said.
And when you're on Jim Rome and you're in the jungle, you got to fucking bring it. I got to walk into the
jungle.
Don't be a clown.
The sacred grounds of the jungle in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, as soon as this goes, I'm bringing it for Jim Rome. This is Jim fucking Rome, dude.
Yeah, you know the program.
Yeah.
You know what you need to do.
Let's go.
Could you bring back maybe
Right. What's that?
Mr. Register to Vote, Duck Hodges, and maybe he saves Pittsburgh?
How's he doing in Canada? Is he playing? Is Canadian Football League still going? How's Ducky Hodges doing?
The
up there?
Blue Bombers won the Grey Cup, so
He was a part of the Red Blacks, right?
Yeah.
Ottawa Red Blacks, yeah.
How'd he do?
Probably pretty well, I imagine.
Bring him home.
Gone play. Well, part of me moving to America was I didn't have to watch the CFL.
Had to give up the CFL.
Might have been one of the best parts.
That was whoa,
dude!
Don't say that about the
CFL's
CFL.
fun to watch, man.
Fucking Stravolsky, dude.
Bro, State Fair football is the best.
It's the worst game I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's not what I meant by calling it State Fair football. I actually think it's entertaining that it's State Fairy.
Yeah, gimmicks are awesome.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoyed the Arena League. I got to see a little bit of it with Kurt Warner. He was fucking slinging it. I enjoy that type of stuff. Now, getting upset about us saying that as if you guys don't have rules that aren't football. I mean, that is, I don't know why you get mad at me for it. I'm a CFL fan.
Strafolsky is on the Dolphins now, so could be the starting quarterback.
Yeah,
Not a
Dolphins
chance.
going on with Tua. This is wild. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to.
Tua is accurate.
He is.
Finishing my sentence. Let's go to Eric in South Dakota. What's going on, Eric?
Hey, Pat, boys, how's it going?
Going good.
Okay, excellent. Hey, I was wanting to talk about with Russ going to Denver. and Denver being for sale, do you think that increases the value at all now because they maybe be set to win a little sooner?
Very interesting, Eric. I didn't even think about that because I guess there's 6 different groups vying to buy the Denver Broncos. Maybe 7 now because Antonio Brown told The Pivot that he and Kanye are legitimately looking. He's very, very serious, extremely serious about buying the Broncos alongside Kanye West. They're not the only group that has billions of dollars behind them looking to buy. That would make 7, I guess, groups are getting in there. Peyton Manning and John Elway are a part of 2 of those groups that are trying to get in there. Getting a new franchise quarterback named Russell Wilson, who's a Walter Payton Man of the Year candidate, never won an MVP. So if he does anything in Denver, he will be remembered forever as a Bronco. If he wins an MVP there, another Super Bowl there, he'll be remembered forever as a Denver Bronco. Yeah, we experienced this with Peyton whenever he left Indy. Won a Super Bowl over there, broke a bunch of records over there. Every photo is him in the Broncos uniform. Oh, yeah. Every single one.
So if you're a Seattle fan, you don't want Russ to do well in Denver because then everything will be in his Denver gear.
It's Seattle Seahawks are dead, dude.
Yeah.
I hate to break this to you guys. I hate it so bad for the Seattle Seahawks fans who have been so nice to me. You know, they've been very, very nice to me. You guys are fucking dead, dude. Honestly.
They are.
They shipped out the Legion of Boom in them, right? Because they had to pay Russ. Then they pay Russ and they shape the offense around Russ. Then it doesn't work. Now Russ is out. It's like you're left with a bunch of picks and I guess some guys, and they'll be a great team. Hey, I don't think Pete Carroll's a bad coach. I don't think in the NFL you have the capability of not having a talented roster. I think every roster has talent on it, but it just feels like there's going to be some growing pains here in the NFC West. And then once Pete's done, there it is again. And then you're back in. Oh, no.
Yeah. Pete Carroll's dead, too.
Oh, no, dude. Man. Pete Carroll saw that $20 million a year to McVay. Call games. He's like, I'll take the gum out for $4 million.
That'd be fine.
If you want me to fucking
He
talk.
did just sign an extension in 2020 for 5 more years.
Peter.
So it'll be just enough time. I like Pete Carroll, too.
Seems like a good guy.
So do I.
I enjoy him. And I feel like
he's good for the game.
I think so. Super upbeat, you know. Loves competing.
A lot of people have come from like that Pete Carroll tree, and it's like trickled throughout the league. How he runs his meetings, how everything's like up tempo, fast paced.
The basketball hoop in the team meeting room and everything like that.
A lot of stuff has come from that.
What's Hackett going to be like with Russ? They're going to love each other, you think?
I would assume so, right?
Do you know Hackett?
I do not. I just know the guys in Green Bay love him.
Let's get to a break. There'll probably be more breaking news through this thing.
Oh,
insane.
What's old Rap Sheet been doing?
I did get a text from Rap Sheet.
Making up for his mistakes.
What'd he say?
I think he said it was hilarious that I just said Aaron's my source.
He has to unveil his source now.
His source, I mean...
He has to.
His source is a fraud.
No, because maybe that was true, though, what he heard, but it wasn't finalized or agreed to by source, says. Fascinating day here.
What if Aaron does sign a contract exactly like the one Rap Sheet reported? He comes back and just dunks all over everybody.
Imagine Rap Sheet just... I was wondering if you want to lead off the show with anything. Who was right? Who was right? Please tell me who was right. How about Shefty dropping the Russell Wilson bomb? He was just sitting on that.
Yeah.
He was sitting in the pocket on that. Just this morning while he was drinking his coffee or whatever at his desk. He's like, all right, today's the day. If Aaron goes to Green Bay, Russ going to Denver. If Aaron goes to Denver, then it gets interesting. And then he just sat there and waited. Aaron's going back to Denver. Holy shit. Going back to Green Bay. Holy shit, what's going on in Denver? Sends a text over to Denver. What are we doing? When can I break it? When can I break it? I thought so. It fucking happened. Please follow up, though, that we had not. This is not because. Yep, you got it. I'll reply to this thread.
Denver's going to have to give Russ a new deal, aren't they?
Probably be like a 6-year deal. They'll kick the money down the road. long-term investment. This is his new home. We're in this thing together, and we're getting a cap-friendly deal for the Broncos. Von Miller's coming back. All of a sudden, a city that's 5,280 feet above sea level is thriving. Good for them. Good for the Packers.
Hell yeah.
Kind of shitty for everybody else that needs a quarterback in the NFL, which is now 6-7 teams. We're back in 4 minutes to see if there's any updates in the craziest day of the NFL offseason in recent memory. This is probably the biggest day in history.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Huge. It's an honor to be here. See you in Fort.
I want to tell you a story. A story about a young man who once had a gambling problem, perhaps, before all these FanDuel sports books. The greatest app, the greatest place to gamble existed. There were bookies, there were illegal gambling rings. And one time, yes, I was a part of one. And I could not pay my bill, per se. I broke my legs. But now, because of FanDuel Sportsbook, they saved my life. That's why I will always gamble with the #1 sportsbook in America, FanDuel Sportsbook.
You have got to experience so many things, both as a businessman off the field and on the field. Is there a moment when I ask this question, it pops your mind, like, what's the craziest shit you've ever seen in your entire life? Because there was a time there where it felt like you were just getting dropped into insane situations and the world was like watching you do things. Man vs. Wild, you and that Bear Grylls guy, fucking electric. That was maybe the most electric shit I've ever seen. Is there anything that you think of whenever you think, like, what's the most ridiculous thing you've been a part of?
Probably some of the most ridiculous shit I ever been a part of was, I had got the restaurant which I'm in right now, and when we first got it, I would come in here and I would clean up and go outside in the front, sweep up, make sure everything looked nice and shit. And one morning I got up here and I noticed, damn, this is a funky ass smell. And I looked, to the side of my front door, and it's a big ass pile of shit. And I'm talking about human shit.
Yeah,
and it's right on the side of the door. So I was like, somebody done came and popped the shit right in front of the door. Like, oh, this shit is crazy. Like, I can't be in here serving food. Motherfucker come walk in and they smell straight ass cheeks when they come in there. Like, I don't think that's the restaurant I need to eat in. So, man, I get the water hose and I'm hosing it down. And, I see, we got a couple, dolphins that usually walk back up in front. Hey, man, did you do this? Like, oh, no. So, one of them owned up to it. I said, man, check it out. So you don't do this no more. Look, you come by here, we get you we get you a broom and you help us, we help you. You feel me? And we put together a little I put a proposition together for him, and I ain't cleaning up shit no more.
It's a win-win. It's a win for everybody on that one. Hey, one of your former teammates. Yeah, hey, everybody wins. You're helping the people, man. That's awesome. That's why people love you. But hey,
one of them owned up to it. Just a line of questioning. The line of questioning.
His name was Willie. Willie owned up to. Matter of fact, he just left out. He's saying, sweeping up. He's like, hey, what's up? Oh boy, I've been looking for you. You feel me? Okay. Yeah, we bust down together up in the front of the restaurant to get it all cleaned up and everything.
Hey, you're helping people. Hey, Willie went from shitting outside to working inside. Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go, Willie. Let's go.
Give it up for my boy Willie, man.
Let the horns blow. This is a massive Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. A lot has happened today, AJ. We dabbled in the insider's game, and then got no credit. Then there was misinformation being reported that we debunked. And then as we thought, this Aaron Rodgers conversation is going to be all day, Calvin Ridley, by the way, got busted for gambling on games yesterday.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about that.
Yeah, no one cares.
Hey, Calvin, Calvin, you're going to have to sit out a year. They're going to make an example out of you. You knew this was potentially going to happen. The NFL tells everybody that can't be compromised. But Calvin Ridley's probably pretty pumped about all the big-time news that's happening today as he moves on and hopefully looks ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, like baseball, they have to be absolutely thrilled because now no one cares about that new deadline that's in place now, and no one will.
There is?
Oh, yeah, today is another deadline day for, if nothing's done, we're going to cancel more games.
Who gives a fuck?
Who cares?
Rob Manfred, Tuesday marks another seminal day in baseball labor talks, sources tell ESPN. With a deal, a 162-game season is back, and players can report Friday. Without one, MLB cancels another week of games. Any future deal becomes far more complicated. That's via Jet Pass It. Hey, baby Jet.
Hey, good luck, Jet.
Hey, baby Jet.
Fly high, Jet.
Hey, go ahead and keep on working, Jet.
Keep soaring.
I guess Jet was in the middle of some shit. I didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
Was he? What happened?
Stand with Jet.
Well, Jet was super duper pro players in this arbitration, I believe, and I'm not 100% sure everybody was necessarily excited.
He and Samson, right? Samson, who came on our show, was going at
Dave.
Was he really? I don't know.
Dave's buried pretty deep now at this point.
Jeff killed him. Yeah, Jeff did absolutely body bag Dave Sampson.
Did he really?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
he? I didn't see that. I didn't know this. I didn't know anything about this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that he killed Samson. Samson will, by the way, survive.
Oh, yeah. You got to cut all of his heads off.
Yeah, Samson will.
Cockroach.
Samson will survive. I didn't want to say that because that has a negative connotation. But whenever I said weasel through the dirt after he was dead,
Didn't you call him a scumbag to his face?
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
I did say he's an actual scumbag. And he said, how come we can't all get along? Well, because you've been cutting deals to players that are terrible for the players and great for you, and you kind of just fuck them over.
And then lie about him in the media.
Well, if you think I created that, I got a bridge in Brooklyn, I believe is what he said. And I'm like, yeah, but you're a scumbag. And we had a good conversation in there. If Jet killed him, Samson will survive. I didn't even know that happened. I just know that Jet potentially described one proposal from the MLB to the players as a shit sandwich publicly. And he actually said it as such. And as a Big J journalist, I guess you can't say that. You're not allowed to say that. And then all of a sudden,
sky's falling.
This guy, the league wasn't
I
happy.
mean, if they don't play, I know baseball.
Who gives up?
We don't. But people like Jet, people whose their livelihood depends on covering Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
a lot of people will be laid off. A lot of people will lose their job, won't they?
Selfish of me. I thought you were asking me directly. We are speaking for now a legion of fans.
I know whether baseball plays or not. It has no effect on anything going on here.
Your life?
Yeah.
Yeah, my life too. And listen, we're meatheads for that. We do apologize.
I grew up playing travel baseball. I love baseball. I just don't watch a whole lot.
So I didn't grow up playing travel baseball. So think about how much less I watch. You know what I mean? Like that is something that, people can assume. But there are a lot of MLB players that, this is their entire living. They dedicated their entire lives to.
Sean Casey. I love Sean Casey.
Mayor Sean Casey.
Yeah.
He needs.
Yes.
So I understand. I shouldn't be just saying who gives a fuck because there's a lot of people that are in that universe that, strictly survive off of these games happening. So whenever you look at the ineptitude of Rob Manfred being a commissioner of the league and his inability to communicate with the public or obviously with the MLBPA on how we get deals done, that's like the commissioner. I understand he's supposed to speak for the owners, but his job is also to figure out a way to push ahead, move along. We had a lockout in the NFL. I was in my second year in the NFL, third year in the NFL. I forget what year, second year maybe. It was awesome. I was already in the league. I had money. The lockout was incredible. You ask any vet, loved the lockout year.
Best year, yeah. Best year ever. Aaron has said that on here multiple times.
The best year ever. We had nothing all off season and then just like literally as training camp would start, all right, everybody get back to work. It's like, all right.
Sounds good.
I guess. Damn, man, happy we got a deal done. Way to go. That was great. But the vets viewed it much differently than obviously the young guys who didn't have money yet. And the NFL knew that there was a legion of young folks in the NFL that would run out of money, and they used that as their advantage in their negotiation and leverage, and that's probably how a deal got done. Was the deal perfect? Nah. Is any deal perfect? No. You're going to give up some stuff. You're going to gain some stuff. But the commissioner got that deal done before training camp with ample amount of time to go to work and have an entire season. It got ugly. It got dicey. There was some ugly shit being said. But the commissioner's job is to move ahead and get deals done. Like, that is literally what the commissioner is a part of this entire thing. And I know they have lawyers, and there's videos of Manfred, practicing his golf swing, and everybody's going after him for that. I don't think we should attack him for that. I am also somebody that, while speaking, moves around and does stuff. I mean, I juggle golf balls in the middle of the show. So I don't think you should attack him for that. Him laughing, though, when he made the announcement that he was going to have to cancel games is a terrible statement to the people you are trying to come to an agreement with, the MLBPA, which is who he's speaking to, by the way, publicly. That is what he is trying to get done. So
he laughed? I didn't see this. He laughed in this statement when he's talking about canceling games?
Yeah, he didn't know he was on the air, and he laughed and was smiling, and then he said, I regret to inform, and in my heart of hearts, I didn't think I was going to have to say this. He does his entire thing. But yeah, he was like laughing, and like the players see that you're negotiating with, the public sees that, and then whenever it's being told what's being offered and what's being given up for a deal to potentially get done, it's like, yeah, you guys are wrong in this whole situation. It's gotten so loud. Now they set a deadline. Now they're saying that deadline wasn't a real one. So if you're the players, okay, you're setting a deadline for today, but the last time you set a deadline and said you were canceling games, you're not doing it. So that's bad negotiating by Manfred, okay? He doesn't have a deal done. He called the trophy a piece of metal. Everything he does is just bad. I have no idea how he's still the guy in charge, but it doesn't seem like that's going to get done anytime soon.
No, it doesn't. And that's what they said, cancel another week of games. So I don't understand how a full season could still be in effect when if they're canceling another week, that's multiple weeks
That's
of
3 weeks, right?
All the time, right? Didn't they say double headers?
The first 2 series. How long is that? 2 weeks?
3 to 4 games is a series.
So it could anywhere from 6 to 8 games.
So it's
a
2 weeks probably?
Yeah, exactly.
So this will be another 3rd week probably. This is the 3rd series that we're going to get rid of, or we're going to have a full season still, which is a full paycheck, which is what they're trying to hold over the head of the players. Like, hey, we could still get a deal done right now and have everybody get paid as much as they're going to get paid. I have no idea what the details are of this contract. I don't know what they used to be, but I do know with how public it has become, it is not going well. It is not going well, and it doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon. So the people that are involved in the baseball world certainly sucks for. We have to transition back to our world because our world is the only one we should be talking about because that's why people tune into the show. That's what's wrong with a lot of other shows. Hey, I'm going to you because you're good at boom. Okay, now this happened. You're going to tell me your thoughts on everything in the world. That doesn't seem to make sense. That is not this show. These 2 idiots know exactly what you would like to hear from us, and we try to stay on topic as much as possible. Now, the toxic table at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor, Tone Diggs, and the boys in the back will potentially try to distract said conversation, as will the toxic AJ Hawk. But football is our bread and butter. It's the biggest league on earth, having the biggest day in offseason history, and now Aaron has tweeted, hey everyone, just wanted to clear some things up. Yes, I will be playing with the Packers next year. However, reports about me signing a contract are inaccurate, as are the supposed terms of the contract I signed. I'm very excited to be back. Flex, hashtag year 18. A little hard out there. You know what I mean? He's doing this one right here. I love you guys.
Love you, 12.
Love you guys. Once again, this prima donna put out a tweet explaining his situation. What an asshole this guy is. By the way, very nice of him to allow me to break the news earlier.
Do you think so? Like, now are people going to start retracting this stuff, like officially, or no? Like more people?
Nope.
Or do you think it's still, fuck it?
No way, dude. No way.
And the general public, that, like AJ said earlier, that number's already in their head. He's making $50 million, no matter what it is.
People just hear the number. You hear Aaron Rodgers getting $200 million tomorrow. Like, that's all they hear.
And even the people who aren't necessarily against him getting that, like the business people out there, like, hey, good deal for Aaron. He's getting $200 million. And then that leads to somebody else going, but I thought he wanted like a better team around him. That doesn't sound like that conversation just happens now. Everywhere.
Yeah.
So even the people that don't necessarily talk about hating the deal or anything like that, they're still talking about the number out there because it is huge. And by the way, probably worth more than that.
Yeah.
If you start looking at the numbers that people are getting, the amount of money that's dumping in to the NFL, with Apple about to get on board, Amazon already on board, Facebook's probably going to get in game. Why wouldn't Netflix or Google get involved as well if the other members of FANG are getting involved in the biggest league in the world? He's probably worth more than that. But the whole narrative is that this is all this guy wanted. And that narrative is one of an asshole who is literally holding a franchise hostage with his decision, right? That is kind of, that paints that entire image. And I'm done with it. I don't like it. Yes, do I view him as a friend? I think so. I don't think we're like the closest of friends. We don't talk. I'm nowhere near as close to him as AJ, but I think we're a friendly, positive. If this was happening to your friend, and from the person you know and what the person did for you, and you saw this and it was all blatant bullshit, would you not want to say like, hey, this is bullshit? So like, I feel like that is something that I have to do. Like I have to do it. I have to say it because I just don't think I think it's bullshit. I honestly believe it's bullshit, AJ.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, obviously you saying it's a lot better than Aaron coming out and trying to defend himself. And I think you definitely are affected more than he is by all of this chatter around him. I think he's used to having that surrounding his whole life at all times. But going back to the deal.
Hey, being friends with this guy is exhausting. Right. Yo, listen, you fucking ass, stop talking about this dude like that. Is he not proved he's not like that? I need to just kind of figure out how to bury. I've always naturally been that human, I think. Need to bury that and suppress that and just understand that Aaron's a different beast for whatever reason.
Man, it's all right. It's all right. You can keep it. It's fine. I think it's justified what you're doing. But when they talked about this supposed contract that he was going to sign, they were hyping it up before saying, oh, a potential market-altering QB deal is going to change the QB market. Well, yeah, of course. Any deal that a quarterback signs is going to be a market-altering deal, correct? Like, that's the next highest-paid dude.
Yeah, unless you're on a rookie – unless you're getting drafted. That's it. And we talked about this earlier, how the rookie contract is such a weapon for teams for the quarterback position more specifically, because once you pay, if the guy's good, you don't have to pay him as much because you just drafted him. You're going to have to pay him in a couple years, and it's going to be hard to build a team around him as you go forward, having to pay him whatever percentage of the salary cap. I actually thought whenever the Los Angeles Rams had Jared Goff on his rookie contract, and they first went all in with players all around Jared Goff, I actually started like openly talking about how, oh, this is the new model. This is the new model. They're going to get a rookie quarterback that can complete the passes, just complete the passes, and then they're going to spend all of the money around the quarterback, and then when that quarterback's up for a new contract, all right, thank you for your service. Go into free agency. We need to find another young guy that can complete passes for us, and we'll be able to load with vets around. I thought that was going to become like a thing because every quarterback that is good in the NFL, once they hit their contract, they're going to take a big old bite out of your salary cap. It's going to be the biggest bite because they're the most important position in the NFL. Aaron's going to get paid. It's going to get paid. But the announcement of the number and the narrative of the number is building that was strictly what he was looking for when he did an entire book club, AJ. An entire fucking book club, basically, about like...
It doesn't matter, though.
It's not anyone about what you have. It's about
anyone
how
that wants
feel.
That narrative, though, they probably haven't checked into it a whole lot. They haven't really, they just read headlines or see little clips here and there, which you can't exactly blame them for. I mean, that's how, with different things, everyone's guilty of that at times. But if you have like a super strong argument all against it and you haven't looked into everything he's been saying and doing, then yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I got to suppress it, though. I got to stop.
Yeah, I mean, that is how.
By the way, Connor, I want to let you know if somebody was saying that about you.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, they'd probably be right, though. But I do appreciate that. And also.
Well, yeah, depending on what you did, too, by the way.
Yeah.
If you did something, I would be like, oh, well, actually valid. Valid what you did.
Aaron Rodgers Tuesday was birthed that way because you're like, hey, why don't you ever want to get any sort of.
Gumpy put out the live video whenever I did the Journalism 101 thing. Mm-hmm. And Gumpy tweets out all the video. Anytime I'm live on a screen, Gumpy is the one that's a part of the ripping of the clips and tweeting out the clips of the process. So I always enjoy looking back and seeing how he describes what he is putting out. Like, I enjoy that a lot because sometimes it's a quote directly, sometimes it's like an overall gist of what's being put out there. And Gumpy, by the way, incredible at the internet.
Yeah.
Very, very lucky
yeah.
that Gumpy does that. He says, for far too long, narratives about Aaron Rodgers have gone unchecked. That's the perfect way to describe it. It's like all these stories have basically gone on for like a decade and a half, completely unchecked. Just like, yep, let it go, let it grow. And just like a snowball, those things, they just continue to grow. And that is literally what I told him while we were getting rather intoxicated at a golf course in the Bahamas. It's like, yo, can we not just like, I don't know how, have you always been an asshole and like recently you're not an asshole? But whatever the case, we need to let people know that either all the way from the beginning you're kind of getting bamboozled with the stories, or like I feel like people would love Aaron Rodgers, and I think that has happened, but there's still those people that want to fucking bury him every time. And this is a cool decision he just made.
Unbelievable.
Going back to Green Bay, it's going to be a cap-friendly deal. Like, I want to do this. This is kind of something I've been talking about for a year and a half. But obviously, with the situation, maybe I didn't want to play anymore. Like, is that something I'm allowed to think about, or am I not allowed to think about that? Or,
No, you're not. You have to do it exactly how people think you should handle the situation.
All right, I'm done with it. I'm not talking about Aaron Rodgers ever again.
Boom, done.
I'm done with it completely. Russell Wilson traded to Denver. What a fucking day!
Yeah. Why? You were number 3?
Team 3 for sure, dude. They're not going to change the team.
Who had 3?
Drew Lock.
Trading threes.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Team 3 in Seattle, stick around for Team 3 Drew Lock.
That makes sense.
I mean, that is.
And was that part of the deal with Denver? Hey, Team 3 needs to be welcome everywhere.
Or probably, by the way, he probably gets his own little. They'll probably build him his own little area for Team 3 to be in, just like Tom had with TB12. That'll probably happen.
That was a closet, though.
What if Seattle Seahawks were like, hey, Russ, we'll trade you, but Team 3 is going to continue to work for us?
Oh. I don't know if that'd be the case.
I think he would have vetoed it.
True.
Team 3 goes where 3 goes. And 3's going to where previous 3 just left. The Denver Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
What a wild Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow. Can't wait to hear what Chris Mad Dog Russo has to say next. Wow.
Let's go.
Absolutely nailed it.
So the franchise tag deadline is now 1 hour and 4 minutes. Devontae Adams has not been tagged. Has anybody else been tagged since we started this show today?
Yes. Tackle for the Jags. Cam Robinson was tagged.
Mike Williams got a new deal.
3 years, $60 million, $40 million guaranteed.
Oh, yeah, we should talk about that. Mike Williams, one of the weapons of Justin Herbert in the Chargers, just agrees to a new deal. Big dude, makes big catches in big moments out of USC, I believe.
Clemson.
Fuck.
There was a Mike
Former,
Williams
yeah.
Yes.
from
Old
USC.
Mike Williams, USC, around the time you were probably, he was a first round pick, top 5 pick. He was unbelievable.
Stop.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That's on me.
Catch passes from Leinart.
Bingo. Those were pretty balls.
Oh, yeah.
He used to sit back there. Hey, he used to hold that ball like a feather almost in that left hand, and that thing was just beautifully coming down in there. Anyways, Mike Williams from Clemson.
Right.
Now with the Chargers making big-time plays, just signs 3 years, $60 million deal, $40 million guaranteed, as confirmed by Tone Diggs just moments ago. Brandon Staley in that squad out there, keeping the great players around. You feel like they know this is the long game. The Rams have Los Angeles locked down right now. And in a fight for a fan base, that is not necessarily great news for the Chargers, who came late and pissed off their fan base just hours away from their new home in doing so. So I think Staley, Telesco, Herbert, the entire team, who is a young core, seems to be very intelligent, very all in. They know in the end, if they win in the long run, that is all that matters in building of a brand and of a team. They keep one of their pillar pieces at wideout around. Great news for Chargers fans for the future. They got that team. They got a lot of work to do in LA, AJ. That is tough. They won a Super Bowl in LA.
Yeah.
The Rams.
They need to stop it right now and not let the Rams continue with this momentum if they want any chance at some of that LA market. But the great thing about the Chargers, they have whatever issues, whatever holes they're trying to fill, they have the number one position in check for a long time with Justin Herbert. They don't have to worry about that when there's other teams around the league thinking, okay, yeah, we have all these holes we got to fill. We got to fix this, fix that. Oh yeah, and by the way, we got to have a quarterback that can throw the ball next year.
Is this year 3 for Herbert or 4?
This
3.
Next year's year 3.
Yeah.
Man, 2 weird years for him to come in as well.
Very.
COVID that first year.
Yeah. Right.
No crowd at all.
Mm-hmm.
Then he cuts his hair. Then he has last
Mm-hmm.
year. You know, new coach. I'm pumped for Herbert, dude. We asked Brendan Staley if he watches the Josh Allen footage from the Bills and like think about new stuff he could do with Herbert. And his immediate response, Herbert's 1 of 1. It was like, oh, so you took that's a shot. He almost took that as a shot with comparing Josh Allen and Justin Herbert, which not negatively, but he was like, let's just make sure this is clear that
He's just standing up for his QB. He's not saying anything about anybody else, but that's just I like a coach standing up for a quarterback.
I love it too. I don't want to start any drama between Staley and the Josh Allen camp. I don't think he meant it negatively. I think he just meant like, hey, our guy he's an alien. This dude is 1 of 1. They're all in over there, right? It feels like everybody we talk to is all in. Eckler told us about the transparency of the meetings and how everybody loves it. It's just, how do you not make the playoffs? I think that's what everybody's asking. Rookie head coach too.
Yeah.
Rookie head coach, I guess that goes in there. They got a lot of cap space.
Yeah, exactly. Like the J.C. Jackson,
JC's
Gilmore
been,
stuff. Like if they've been linked to both of them. If they bring in either of them,
With Bosa still rushing.
Derwin James.
Chargers could be a fucking
Yeah.
wagon.
Well, that division,
they're going to have to be.
Oh, yeah.
Score with Russ.
Just got a lot tougher.
no one's going to win it.
Well, that's the AJ. I think we chatted off air about that, and I don't want to necessarily give away your opinions, but mine. Not that yours are any different or the same as mine. I'm not saying that, but I don't think these dudes that people are talking about at the quarterback position give a fuck about who else is in the division.
Not at all.
At all.
They're not sitting there thinking, okay, hey, let me go to this, let me stay here or go to this place because I feel like, we can pretty much win the division every year and we don't have to do a whole lot. Do you think any elite quarterback in the NFL was happy winning the division? No, they're just trying to win the Super Bowl, so they're not sitting there worried about their division just getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's funny to think that, well, it's going to be tough to get out of that division. Like these dudes that are,
Yeah,
they don't think like me.
Well, it makes sense to think about as our job.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It actually makes sense for me to be like, well, seemed like you'd have a much easier path if you were to go to another division because that just makes sense. But there's no way that's going into anybody's decision-making process. If Patrick Mahomes was to somehow become a free agent 10 years from now, which I guess could have 8 years from now, and then he has gone on to do what we all expect him to do, you think he's giving a fuck about who else is in the league?
Absolutely not.
No way. No way at all. That's a fascinating little tale that has come from this entire Aaron Rodgers moving, Russell Wilson moving. Why would Denver be a desirable spot for a quarterback when you got Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Derek Carr? They're like, they don't give a fuck about that, those dudes. Now, should they? Maybe. Maybe they should. But all they care about is if we're who we should be, it does not matter, and you got to beat everybody to win a Super Bowl anyways. I'm fascinated by that. That is 2 very distinct, different mindsets between fan, pundit, and then actual human that has to make the decision.
Well, especially in that division where, 3 of those guys are, what top 7 best quarterbacks in the league. They're definitely not thinking that. But for us, that is very real. Like the Broncos, every year, their defense is unbelievable, and they have kind of just been a quarterback away, and they still seem to go 7-10 or whatever. They're kind of just floating around 500. You get Russ, like, guess what? He's not thinking about it, but like they absolutely are going to challenge the Chiefs. You'd think.
How about Russell? Not saying it publicly ever, but sure, deep inside of his very nice person, he said all those quarterbacks are now in my fucking division.
Mm-hmm.
That I believe is the mentality of those dudes.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of those dudes out there, by the way.
No.
Not a lot of those dudes, but they just have that very warranted, unflappable. I'm the guy.
Yeah. Confidence.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love everything about it. What were you going to say?
Well, and like the Rams almost debunked it last year. It's like, that division's just going to kill each other, and by the time they go to the playoffs, like they're going to be worn out. But then
they're almost better because
exactly.
They're sharpened.
Yeah.
Battle tested.
Yeah, that's right. All right, are we done here? Oh, Kyler Murray. Hey, Kyler Murray. Big news in the NFC West. less than a week removed from the handsome, cool-looking head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury, sat right here and said, would love to see Seattle trade Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Would absolutely love to see him get out of our division, which is obviously a massive compliment. It seems like his quarterback situation is in a much better spot now than it was then. We had to ask him questions about it. He said business will get figured out. They had to answer questions at the Combine about it. Steve Keim, the general manager, everybody had to talk about Kyler Murray potentially not being happy with the Arizona Cardinals. He removed all of the Arizona Cardinals shit from his Instagram and social media. Then, a week and a half after presenting a proposal to the Arizona Cardinals to make Kyler Murray their quarterback long-term, Eric Burkhardt put out a statement via Schefter or his own Twitter account explaining the entire situation and publicly putting pressure on the Arizona Cardinals to give Kyler Murray a long-term deal. In that letter, he did spell chooses wrong.
Yep.
So it's hard to take serious, inevitably, but it was a different style of business that we haven't seen in the NFL. He is on his rookie contract. He has had success with the team, and then his agent is going to publicly say to everybody, don't you think this dude should be paid? That's basically what the letter was saying. Now we can report on this Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. It appears as if the waters have been stilled. Kyler Murray has put the Arizona Cardinals pictures back up on his Instagram. Oh! Congratulations, Arizona. Seems like you got it figured out with your trigger man quarterback who has won 3 more games each season playing quarterback for your team, which was also laid out in the Eric Burkhardt letter. AJ, Kyler Murray's not only FaZe Clan, but it feels like he's also back to being an Arizona Cardinal and pumped about it. Does this mean new deal, or does it mean they've come to an understanding?
I don't know. Yeah, does this mean they are deep in negotiations and he feels like, okay, they're going to value me at what I think I should be paid, or do they just have a good chat and say, all right, we'll take care of you. Don't worry, it'll all go as planned.
Hey,
what do you say?
We'll take care of you.
Come on, shake that.
Well, he's got no moves left.
Something happened.
Come on.
Is that how they do it?
Yeah,
exactly.
Why don't they cut their finger, do the Blood Brothers deal?
Well, listen, that's the next step. I don't know if they wanted to commit that much. Only money first, hopefully, is probably what Kyler is thinking out there. Kyler Murray now teammates with Snoop Dogg. Will he continue to be teammates with J.J. Watt and the boys for the years to come? I mean, that is obviously massive stories out of the NFC West. Kyler seems to be back in the 5th largest city in America that is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
J.J. Watt was golfing yesterday with Derek. Did you see that?
Oh, my God. Majestic.
Oh, my. I asked him. I was looking at the picture. I was maybe on a little God's grass, and I looked at it, and I responded. I said, how much do you love just being in Arizona? That's it. That's the only question. And then he responded.
Very much so.
A lot. Loves it. It's awesome. Gorgeous out there. Kyler's back. Russell Wilson's out. The NFC West is obviously a lightning storm in the offseason. Super Bowl champs are over there. Now, what a wild day. What's tomorrow going to bring, AJ? What's tomorrow going to bring?
I don't know. Probably a couple more blockbuster moves around the league.
And we'll be able to react to more people that are franchise tagged. I hope everybody gets long-term deals. I hope nobody gets franchise tagged. But it feels like that's going to be the business. From all of us to all of you watching, I guess we should do a giveaway. Big day.
Big day.
Was.
I think it should be hashtag PMS Big Ass Day. All right. I think that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I feel like that's a good one. Go ahead and take a screenshot. Oh, no.
Oh, you heard that?
Oh, my. Is that real? No, it's fake. That's fugazi.
Yeah, fugazi.
That's a fugazi.
That's not real.
That's a fugazi.
Delete.
Thank you. Will you shut up, man? We're trying to have a moment of silence for the screen.
For who?
How long are we going to hold that? Rest in peace to the most awesome day of the offseason.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was awesome.
Oh, my bad. That thing is so heavy.
That was your mouth.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's a fake. We know it. Hashtag PMS Big Ass Day. Go ahead and tweet something nice to somebody. You know what? How about this? Tweet a compliment to somebody that's on your team. Add them and everything. Say, hey, thank you for being on the team. Just say something nice about somebody that plays for your team, whatever it is. I assume it's going to be football, but if it's any other sport, go ahead and let them know that you appreciate what they do and that you don't hate them, because there's probably days for everybody where they wonder if the world doesn't like them and if they're appreciated. Hashtag PMS Big Ass Day. Screenshot from one of those moments in there. Tweet a player on the team or coach or just a human, anybody. Actually, just tweet something nice to somebody.
Nice.
We have breaking news. Hashtag PMS Big Ass Day gets bigger. Ian Rappaport on the board. Davante Adams has been franchise tagged, and Chris Godwin has also been franchise tagged. Davante Adams will be around for at least another year with the Green Bay Packers with a guaranteed contract. Aaron Rodgers is back for another year. How will that all get sorted out contract-wise, salary cap-wise? Maybe they're doing this to let him know that we will be able to work out a long-term contract. There is a period here coming up where they can still negotiate. That will get cut off. So we will know the future of Davante Adams at a later date that we should know right now, but we do not. And Chris Godwin going back to Tampa. Chris Godwin was going to be highly sought after, just like Davante in the free agency market. Both teams keep their guys at home, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, I mean, not surprising. I know here in 50 minutes is the deadline, right, to actually tag a guy. So if the Packers will not have tagged Davante, does he become a free agent then?
Yes.
So obviously that was never going to happen. They would never go like that, because you can tag him now, and then you can work on a long-term extension. Because they have Goody, the GM, has even said that he doesn't want to be tagged. We don't want to tag him because it can help with the cap if we give him a long-term deal, and they know how great he is. So hopefully they can work a long-term deal out.
So you have to wonder if at 11:25 this morning, when Aaron Rodgers was announced to be going back to the Packers, that domino led to Russell Wilson ending up at the Broncos, and then that led to Davante Adams getting franchise tagged. We need at least another year out of you, pal. A lot has taken place today.
Hell yeah.
And we are lucky to be here. Hashtag PMS Big Ass Day. Screenshot from earlier, or right now, or right now, or right now, right now. That's a shame, AJ.
Oh,
holy shit.
Fucking
oh, no.
Right now.
No.
Cut the cameras around, Zeke, for us.
No. It's Foxy that cuts the cameras. If you get that right, you would have been all right.
Yeah.
Sorry, AJ.
Blue shot.
We will count that. We will count that moment there where we were sleeping on the job. That's a fake title, though. That's a fake.
You heard the noise it makes when it hits this desk.
What was that? What if you did have something that it hit like a sensor?
Yeah.
That would be great. We should.
This thing is sweet. I'm gonna start wearing this to like my kids' games and stuff.
Oh,
that does look so cool, dude. With your claw and cigar.
You start skateboarding around.
Oh my God, yeah.
I might get into skateboarding.
He was scared, boy.
See you later, boy.
He wasn't
good enough for her.
That was back in the day.
She's still singing?
Well, now she's a superstar.
Bang on her guitar.
Yeah. All right, dude. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. This show stinks, but we thank you all so much. We'll give away. Go ahead, Tone.
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
I believe the franchise tag for wide receivers just happened. It's like $18.5 million. Won't do that. Maybe like $18.5 thousand.
All right, we'll give away $18,500.
Wow.
Boom. You know what? And then that $1,500 bet that Calvin Ridley put in. Smart. Put that on top. We'll give away $20,000.
There we go.
Perfect.
All right, that's what we'll give away $20,000.
right.
20 different winners win $1,000 each. Hashtag PMS Big Ass Show. Say something nice to somebody. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.